Good morning, everyone. Made it through the week. We're here to Saturday. Glad you guys made it. We're gonna have a fun conversation today. So I'm sure this thumbnail will draw in lots of people. There's no Epstein here. We're not talking about the federal government. We're not gonna talk about doom and gloom. We're gonna talk about making money as an idiot. We're gonna talk about making money. We're talking about changing how you think about money, right? Again, we're going to talk about from an idiot's point of view, right? Again, I don't have a course. I'm not going to tell you get rich in gold. I'm going to give you guys real practical solutions to making money and ways that you can have a normie income and make it, into the normie economy and just be a normie kind of person, But if you are interested in different ways to make money, right? You want to do a little bit more than the minimum, right? You want to do the things that actually lead to employers looking for ways to pay people more money. You want to actually find out how to make more money in a practical, realistic way that doesn't involve you buying a course, right? Doesn't involve you, looking to someone else to solve your problems. This is going to be the cast for you guys. We're going to talk about that today. I think I got some good information for you guys. I'm going to tell you guys how I make money. Right, and again, I'm not a rich guy, I'm a middle-class guy, but point is I sell to the wealthiest people in America and I employ the middle-class people in the world. So I'm gonna tell you guys how we make money today. And again, this is all stuff that you guys can do. And the biggest thing that you guys have to understand about making money is honestly time. This is the thing that gets most people down, and it's the thing that that is more frustrating, I think, for people than anything is this whole time metric. People don't want to take time to make money. People don't want to take time to grow their skills. They just want money now. They're in crisis mode now. And again, I can't fix that, but I can give you some practical things to think about in ways that you can make more money quickly and definitely make more money over the long term. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture company. We make about 500 pieces a year, and we ship all over America. We ship to every state in the union, and we have 9 employees. We do a low 7 figures in revenue. That makes me a middle class to upper middle class guy who never graduated high school, which is great. So I'm definitely can tell you guys how to do this thing. So if you guys want to hear this kind of content, if you want to hear about a guy tell you guys how to make some money in a real practical kind of a way, I'm gonna tell you how to do it. So again, you can take it for what it's worth. Again, I'm a guy who never graduated high school, but somehow figured out how to grow this thing into a pretty nice little small business. And again, anyone can do what I'm going to tell you guys today. So I appreciate being here this morning, and let's dig into this thing. So the way we start out all of our casts is I tell you guys the YouTube metrics, right? I tell you guys how our channel's doing, the kind of money we're making on this channel, and I tell you guys the back end on the YouTube side. You guys can have an understanding of what the YouTube side of this thing is, right? And YouTube is one form of income, right? So believe it or not, guys, I have 9 forms of income, okay? And none of them are real estate. None of them are gold. None of them are 401ks. None of them are stocks. These are all real practical ways to make money. And again, they're not millions and millions of dollars, but cumulatively, they make a decent amount of money. So pay attention. You guys will learn some shit here today, I promise. All this information, a lot of you guys know a version of it, but I think most people just don't know how to piece it all together. So maybe I can do that for you guys. All right, let's get after it. If you guys are in the chat today, hit the like button again, hit the subscribe button. And let's dig into this. All right, let's start with metrics. So let's run over here to, we're going to go over to YouTube. All right, so the channel right now is seeing 493% growth. So that's over the last 28 days. So we've made $120 this month on YouTube, right, which is fine. We're averaging 177,000 views a month, right? So that's where we're at. We're doing about 3,000 watch hours a month. We're bringing in about 350 new subscribers a month, right? So this is what the channel is doing in real time, right? And the real practical numbers that you guys understand. Again, we started growing this channel talking about Jeffrey Epstein. We started talking about government problems, COVID, this kind of stuff, all the stuff you're not supposed to talk about. That's how we grew this channel. And it exploded basically in February. And so now I give you guys real practical information from a normie, right? A guy that never graduated high school. And again, tell you guys how to make money, right? How to build things. We talk about the economy from a normie standpoint, and we actually interact with the people in the chat, right? This thing that grew this channel is I actually interact with you guys. I give you guys an hour or two most days in the morning before I go to work. And I think people like this type of content, So if you guys want to talk about ways to make money, I want you guys to put how you make money in the chat, okay? I want you guys to tell me, what state are you in? What's your experience? How long you been doing what you do? Let us know what you make. Again, no one knows who you are. You don't have to worry about it. Some people are embarrassed. Some people are just kind of private, and that's fine. You don't have to put your information in there. But if you want to participate, you want to challenge me, you want to tell me things that I don't know, you want to give other people information, that's what we do in this live stream, So, all right. So you guys, I gave you guys the information on the back end of YouTube. So the channel's doing great. Again, 493% growth. So we're just skating along here. It's fantastic. I appreciate everyone that's helped me out with this. All right. So we're going to say hi to everyone real quick. Then we're going to do headlines. We'll go through my headlines real quick, and then we'll say hi to everyone again. Then we're going to have the bulk of our discussion, which is making money, right? The bulk of the discussion, making money as a high school dropout, making money in a kind of a practical, a realistic way. I'm not going to give you guys some bullshit course. I'm not going to give you guys any bullshit ideas about, save 20% of your salary when you make 70 grand a year and go buy real estate. I'm not going to give you that shit. So, all right, who we got in here this morning? We got, who's this? Austin Norwood. Austin, good to see you, dude. All right, this is Curty Both. I don't know how you say your name. All right, sorry I missed you at the clan meeting tonight, brother. The knee gears were holding up. Again, well, I'll get to the clan meeting next one. Thanks for the info. Okay, I'm back, and my fingers still say. All right, cool. We got the winners in here this morning. All right, Futz Bucket, talk about the global economic ramifications of waffles. All right, cool, man. Well, you guys are crushing it this morning. Jobless Monkeys had nothing better to do than stand on the road and see you at next week's meeting, brother. All right, cool, man. Sweet lamp. Yep, everyone loves the lamp. This is B Style 13. Jim Briggs, XXF host. I've heard. Okay, cool, fantastic. Russell Dixon's in here. Just hit the like. 40 years of doing glass fabrication. Fantastic, man. Never passed the 8th grade. Had a decent career. That's cool, man. Russell, I appreciate it. Again, anyone that puts their information in here, talking about what they do, their experience, how long they did it, what they make, stuff like that, I think is very valuable to people. And again, we'll get through all the bullshit comments here pretty soon. But yeah, that's fantastic, Russell. So again, appreciate you being back here. Mike Cherry's in. Mike Cherry from Canada, if I remember correctly. Appreciate you being here, dude. Okay, guys, we're gonna dig into the headlines, and like I said, I'm gonna tell you guys how to make some money in different kinds of ways. And again, a lot of people like to talk about the popular ways to make money, right? Everyone's got a plan. Everyone's got a course. Everyone's got a get-rich-quick scheme. Everyone's got the solution, right? There's lots of ways to make money in the world, guys. I promise. Okay, top headlines. So top headline this morning is, Trump says, with time, we can take the Iran oil, which is kind of a messed up thing to say, if I'm being completely honest. I don't like the idea of taking someone else's anything. As an American, I don't like the idea of snatching leaders out of countries. I don't like the idea of stealing other people's resources. But whatever, that's the top headline at Al Jazeera. So yeah, Trump clearly has an agenda here to get the energy. I've talked about this many times. I've talked about how America basically wants to grab everyone's energy, have all the hot spots, have access to all the hot spots, control the hot spots for energy production, and then use that production to bludgeon everyone over the head to basically submit to America's will, which is kind of a messed up thing. I don't know if I'm on board with that, but I think that's his plan. So anyway, that's headline number one. Headline number two, aircraft pilot remains down in Iran, right? So this is something that get very scary, because it's one thing when you're entered in a war that you're going to go fight because someone's fucking with you. It's a whole other thing when you're in a war of choice, right? When you're basically bored at home and you don't have things going on at home, so you go start a war, which is, history has shown has happened more often than you guys can even imagine. When you go fight a war of choice and you get pilots down, you get people that are down behind enemy lines, right? You end up with those Chuck Norris movies from the 80s, behind enemy lines, things get really scary, because that's when a president can really rally the country behind something, going back and getting their citizens, and that's a very scary thing. So hopefully they can find this pilot. I guess there was two of them at first, and now there's just one left. So hopefully they can find this guy, because I got a feeling if Iran finds this thing, Trump will use this thing to draw us more and more into this conflict, and that's not good from my standpoint. So hopefully they'll find that guy and everything will get okay there. But that was from CNN. From X, right? From X, we got job numbers came out yesterday, and 178,000 jobs were created, which sounds awesome, and it is awesome. But what you guys have to remember is that the Fed chair just came out, Jerome Powell, and said that there's effectively no job growth in America right now. Zero, right? And then Trump, the Department of Labor, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, reduced the jobs numbers for 2025. So there were no jobs created in 2025. They reduced it by 1 million jobs. So we are in a jobless economy right now. We are in a kind of a slow malaise, kind of just nothing's happening. Nothing's going good, nothing's going bad. It's just, we're just moving along, very, not very fun to talk about. But anyway, these job numbers are, it's a step in the right direction. Unemployment dropped to 4.3%. And the truth is, guys, most people are having multiple jobs right now. And again, the jobs numbers, they're artificial. The job rate of 4.3% is bullshit, I'm here to tell you guys. It's not real. So anyway, you take that for what it's worth. I'm happy to go into it if you guys want me to, put it in the comments. Okay, last thing I want to talk about from a headline is I read an article on Furniture Today, which is, again, is like my industry publication where I go for information. And basically what the article was saying is that behavioral science behavioral science indicates that once you reach the threshold of your basic, what's it, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Once you reach that, you can pay for food, shelter, kids, stuff like that. Once you get that dollar amount, which is essentially 100 in today's dollars, is about $100,000 a year. Once you hit that threshold, like the most important things in life are essentially like progress. And again, from an employer standpoint, this is something that I look at, right? This is the psychology of hiring people that I care about, aside from the money side. And basically, what it says is that the important things in life to people, once their needs are met, is just like growing their skills, right? Growing their knowledge. People really like that. They feel really good when they can learn new things and when they can push projects forward, when they can see the things that they've made. It's very important. Again, guys, give me a second. Let me finish what I'm saying here, and I'll get into we'll get into discussions. We'll say hi to everyone, her comments. Once you do those kind of things, like people tend to focus on, again, getting good at stuff. They have time. They're focusing less on the day-to-day bullshit, right? And they can focus more on growing their skills, right? They can focus more on working on projects. They can be more effective at work. They are, let me just make sure I get all this stuff. They can tend to focus more on growing their careers, right? From an achievement standpoint, right? Maybe it's learning another skill. Maybe it's volunteering for new projects at work. Maybe it's, being able to stay at work longer because, again, they don't have the stress of the home life, the bills, the kids, the wife, the husband, the whatever. Things get a lot easier to get better at doing real work, right? They focus less on needing money. I gotta have money. Where am I gonna get money? I gotta work overtime because I need money. Less of the money thing, and it's much easier to keep an employee. And again, once you hit where the basic needs are, and right now it's like $100,000. Back in my day, it would have been like 50 grand. It wasn't very much money. But again, from an employer standpoint, we know that, hey, give your guys a nice place to work. Make sure they like the work that they do. If they want to, they want to advance their career, give them things to do, right? Allow them to grow their income by adding more value to the company, right? If they just one of these guys that wants to come in and, collect a check and do their 8 hours and go home, like that's cool too. Those guys aren't going to get the raises and the new job opportunities. That's okay. Just make sure that they can afford the basics of life and you're okay. The problem comes, when you enter into a situation where you have employees that have what are called golden handcuffs. Right? And this is the thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but there are careers, guys, where you can make so much money that you can't get out of it, And again, a lot of people, oh God, I'd like to be in that situation. I hear that all the time. But the truth is that sales is one of these careers, that like people will start selling things and they'll just start fucking hating their life. They hate constantly dealing with customers, constantly having to answer questions, constantly being turned on because that's how sales works. Sales doesn't turn off. It's not an 8 to 5 job. It's an all day kind of a thing. So you have these situations where you get people making $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year. And again, it sounds amazing, but all they want to go do is fucking be a teacher, that makes 60 grand a year. The thing that they really want to do, they can't do because they're handcuffed to the career that makes them money, So I think it's important that people kind of understand that the happiness factor in life is just to make enough money to meet your basic needs. And there's a lot of behavioral science behind this, and it's a very true thing. I've experienced it in my life. I think a lot of people can experience this, but it does exist, guys. So as an employer, like I said, my goal is to make sure my guys got enough money to basically pay for their basic needs. And again, we end up with much better employees. So when you hear these guys say, "Oh, my employer doesn't care about me. Oh, my fucking boss, blah blah blah. This guy, he hates me. He likes so and so. He doesn't like me. Like, I'm just a number." These guys, we hear all this kind of stuff. And again, it's not really true from a normie kind of small business owner's point of view. Like I said, I don't want to fucking move people in and out. I don't, right? I want to give my guys what they need so that they're happy, right? If I can't do that, fine. They got to go. It's not going to work. But for the most part, employers, we pay our people what they want to make, right? And as long as they're growing the product, they're growing their skills, they're helping to train new people, they're helping us to move our product out the door, we're pretty open to paying people what they need to get paid, provided we can get a little bit of something on the back end too, right? So as I go through my income streams, what you guys are going to find out is that I make money in 9 different ways. Okay, I make a little bit in 9 different ways. The bulk of my money comes from making furniture, but the truth is, guys, I give most of my money to my employees. Because the truth is that making furniture in and of itself isn't as lucrative as I would like it to be. Okay, doesn't mean that it can't be. If I was a better business owner, I'd probably make a fuck ton of money. But the truth is, I never graduated high school, guys. So that's the stuff that I want to tell you guys. I want to talk about the golden handcuffs real quick. I want to show you guys the difference, or the way that I look at hiring people and the way that I look at firing people, and again, how I try and treat my employees. I want everyone to know that there are business owners that really do try and take care of the people, okay? The mindset is the most important thing, and we're going to get into that as one of the ways to make money, okay? So let's say hi to everyone this morning. Again, I want you guys, I'm telling you guys, Put your income in there. Let us know how long have you done things. Let me know what you make. Let us know what state you're in. Give us some information about you guys. If you're embarrassed, you don't want to give that information out, that's fine. Again, on this stream, I'm an open book about how I make money. I'm an open book about how my business runs. I'm an open book about everything in my life. This is part of who I am and what I do. I am a constant money-making machine, right? I want you guys to understand this is part of making money. Your life becomes about avoiding taxes and creating business, right? Creating money. It's a very different way to look at life, but again, I don't have a get rich quick scheme. So, okay, here we go. Let's see what we got in here this morning. Okay, cool. Comments came in. Again, Titan, I'm glad you're in here, man. We got a lot of dipshits in here early on. So again, moderators in here this morning, Titan Brew. And again, he just comes in and he just tosses all you guys with the bullshit comments. So add good stuff to the discussion. Let's tell people how to make money, right? And again, it's not always real estate. It's not gold. Buy my course. Here, get my subscription. Here's my discount code. Okay, there's more ways to make money than that. Okay. All right. Let's see. I run a FBA business at 19. I run an FBA business. Okay, let us know what an FBA business is at 19. This is PB100M. Cool, dude. But let's go. I want to know what you do. Let me know what an FBA business is. All right, see, that's Life 133. What's up, brother? That's Life. Good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. BS Gaming Blitz, the oil. It was promised to us 3,000 years ago. I love that comment. That's so good, man. The oil was promised to us 3,000 years ago. Oh, shit, man. That got me. That cracked me up. Yeah, some people want the land. America, we were promised the oil. I love it so much. Okay, Stinky Pete and 3M, illegal war. Yeah, again, that's how I look at it. But we gotta play the hand we're dealt, guys. Okay, Trump had a feeling. This is Stinky Pete. Yeah, man, Trump's interesting dude, man. All right, Hamdi Bonnie. Okay, well, all right, cool. BC gave me Blitz. Iran had it coming. All their base are belong to us. For what he's saying there, you guys might not know this, right? That was basically one of the original memes from back in the day. All our base was that from StarCraft, if I remember correctly. That used to go around a long time when I was younger. All right, BS Gaming Blitz, man. Thanks. And again, BS Gaming Games. I play StarCraft all the time. It's the only video game that I've played my entire life. It's freaking awesome. Okay, DD Sarasan. This is DD Sarasan. 8747. Yeah, go into it. All right, this man is CIA. All right, see, Sarasan, 100,000 a year in Washington, D.C. You are working poor. Okay, again, this is a lot of things you'll hear people say. It's like, you'll talk about what you make, and then they'll be like, oh, God, that's not enough money. Oh, I can't make any money. Oh, that's a minimum wage. Everyone fucking cries about their salary. Okay, again, we're not listening to the crying people bitching about how terrible their life is and how they can't make any money and how, even though I'm making all this money, it's not worth it because I live in this town. Okay, one of the things you can do to make money is get the fuck out of where you're at. Okay, and again, I'm one of these guys on the stream, guys. I push back against everyone. Okay, again, I'll happily read your comment and you can come back at me, but I'm gonna come back at you, right? That's one of the things we do in this cast. So again, your $100,000 a year is working poor in DC. Great, go live someplace else. Okay, all right, support your president. That's life. All right, cool, dude. I support Donald Trump. I'm wildly frustrated with him, but I do support him. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. All right, I hate our president. Okay, cool. BC Gaming Blitz. Let's see, NATO's economy is under attack from Iran, ATM, but why don't they do anything? I'm not sure what NATO's economy is under attack from Iran, but why don't they do anything? Well, so here's the thing, guys. What's Article 5 of the NATO, the treaty, was it North Atlantic Treaty Organization or something like that? Article 5 essentially says that one NATO country is attacked, then another if one NATO country is attacked, all NATO countries are attacked, right? Which again means that NATO is activated, okay? Let's take Donald Trump's logic. Donald Trump's logic right now is that because America went and fought Russia, and again, you can say it's Ukraine, it's not Ukraine, it's America, guys. But if you want to say America went and fought Russia for Ukraine, okay? Again, Ukraine's not a NATO country. NATO's irrelevant, okay? Now, you can say, well, what about Iran? America's going over there fighting Iran. Again, Donald Trump saying, hey, we're over there fighting Iran for you guys. We're going to topple this government, so why aren't you guys coming in and helping us? Look what we did over in Ukraine. And again, if you're NATO, you're like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, it doesn't, like, Article 5 wasn't kicked, right? Or wasn't enacted. We didn't attack a NATO country. Iran's not a NATO country. Like, you literally came in and fucked up the perfectly working Strait of Hormuz. Their energy situation was fine in Europe at the time. And again, Trump's going, hey, you got to come help us. Like, no, dude, like you did this. You got to go fix it yourself. Macron, the French president, already said it. It's like, look, like we don't understand where Trump's coming from. We don't understand why he's doing this. Like, this is a problem America created. NATO's not going to come in and fix it. And again, I'm not a supporter of NATO. I think Europe is a bunch of fucking pussies and a bunch of lazy motherfuckers that have been leeching off of America for 40 years. But again, I'm not going to. I got to tell it straight. Like, if I was NATO, I wouldn't get in this conflict either. Like, again, NATO is not a bellicose. It's a defensive treaty. It's not an offensive treaty, okay? Again, there's no reason for NATO to go into Iran. And again, Iran's not NATO. There's no reason for NATO to go into Ukraine. Ukraine is not NATO, right? A lot of people say, well, when we started the Ukraine thing, that affected Europe, right? No. Europe fucked itself by getting rid of all of its nuclear power stations. Europe fucked itself by thinking that they were super smart and intelligent and did solar panels and fucking wind farms forever. NATO did this themselves. NATO understands this, which is why they're starting to build up their nuclear power plants again. They're starting to restart all the dirty energy because they understand that what happened in Ukraine and with Russia literally screwed these guys when the, the Nord Stream pipeline was severed, probably by America, by the way. Again, when that energy disruption happened, that was a huge hit to Europe. That was great for America because it made sure that Europe had to buy LNG from America, right? The rates that we were charging doubled when we started sending all that energy over to Europe after the Ukraine-Russia war started. So again, I don't understand why. If I was Europe, I'd tell Trump to go fuck himself. Trump's going to hang himself. And again, you and I, as Americans, we're going to pay for it. Europe is going to pay a crap ton for it. But guess what? Europe's still going to get energy. They're just going to buy it from America. Europe's still going to get fertilizer. They're just going to buy it from America. We hear everyone talking about the fertilizer conversation. Okay, there's 4 main components in farming. Okay, only one of those components we don't produce ourselves. We don't produce a ton of here and a ton in Canada. Okay, some of that comes from Russia. Russia's the only other place to get that. And I forget all the names. If you guys have to go Google it, I researched this like a week ago. And truth is that again, we're good. Europe's fine. It's just everyone's paying a massive price at this point. But again, if you think that Europe is not, what's the word I'm looking for? Is not being smart by getting involved in the Strait of Hormuz. Like you're being ridiculous. There's no reason to start a war, guys. There's no reason to get involved in this thing. You just got to wait it out. Trump's going to hang himself. Trump's going to lose this war just strictly by costing so much money for the American people. If Trump can't find a way to grow everyone's incomes, right, or reduce the cost of living here in America, Trump's gone. And again, there's micro issues and there's macro issues, okay? And the truth is that everyone's being affected at the micro level, but all the leaders and all the people that have a brain understand that the macro issues are going to crush Donald Trump. Like he's done. So, okay, super chat coming in. All right, I miss Sleepy Joe economy. Again, you guys, we're going to get so many comments in here that maybe this will be a popular topic today. I don't know. But we're going to talk about making money. Again, as an idiot who never graduated high school, I'm going to tell you guys my 9 revenue streams that I have. And you guys can think I'm crazy. I'm going to tell you guys how I live. I'm going to tell you guys why I'm able to keep up with the cost of inflation, right? I'm going to tell you guys why I'm able to keep up with, making money today when everything gets super expensive. I'm going to tell you guys how my income keeps up when the cost of everything goes up. Okay, so we'll talk about that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of content, you guys hit the like button, add a discussion. All right, so Benny9291 sent a super chat for $2. And I said Benny. Ben9291, I appreciate, dude. He says, I miss Sleepy Joe economy. Yeah, again, I don't think that I miss Sleepy Joe economy, but I do like how things were a little bit more calm. Like Trump is literally just throwing a bomb into every situation. He thinks that if he distracts people enough, maybe he's doing something behind the scenes that we all don't understand. And he's playing 3D, 4D chess. I forget what the number is up to. But I don't think Trump knows what the fuck he's doing. I don't think he's got much of a plan. I've talked about how Trump's master plan could be to, again, get all the LNG, get all the oil-producing hotspots to need America and to want to operate around the American way of doing things so that he can take China, Russia, and Brazil and draw them all in together and then strangle them and bring them into the world economy. But I don't know. Like I said, as a normie dude who never graduated high school, I know for a fact that you need competition for everything to work. And that means you need competition in the oil sector, you need competition in LNG, you need competition in Legos, you need competition in clothing, you need competitions in porn, you need competition in everything. And what Trump's doing is antithetical to competition. He wants to control it all. And maybe it's different with energy, and maybe it's different with geopolitics. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know. But yeah, Ben9291, thanks, dude, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I don't know if I like the Sleepy Joe economy, but again, If you guys want to listen to how I make money no matter who's president. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll go into those things. So again, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay, all right, back to our comments. I'm gonna do comments for a few more minutes, guys, and then we're gonna get into the bulk of our discussion, which is how your neighborhood idiot makes money in an economy that's hyperinflated. Okay, and if you guys, I'm saying this, I'm going to say it a bunch in the chat. Okay, if you guys are in the chat today, let us know what you do. Let us know how you make money. What do you do? Let us know how long you've been in there. Let us know what you make. Put something in there that other people can use for information. The live streams, guys, don't work if you guys don't put your information in there. It's a conversation back and forth. I'm the host. You guys are the guest. Okay, I hate our president. We raise your comment there. Okay, BS Game, let's talk about NATO. We raise your comment. Titan Bruce says like, share, subscribe. Yes, I appreciate it. You guys, you can go to theresplendentcrow.com if you guys want to see how I make the bulk of my money as a small business owner. Okay, not trying to sell you anything. I sell furniture to you and everybody else. That's it. There's no bullshit t-shirts. I'm not trying to sell you coffee mugs. I'm not trying to get you guys to buy my shit. Okay, let's see. Dick Nixon 7778. Help us help you. All right, well, help me. Okay, BS Gaming says 40 years of terror ending to the sound of freedom. Okay, you must be talking about Iran. Okay, we'll see, dude. I don't know that Iran is as bad as everyone made it out to be. But again, what do I know? If you guys look at the way the propaganda works with, again, Russia, China, now we're talking about Iran all of a sudden. Again, we talk about how China's the enemy, right? We talk about, oh my God, China's so bad. China's stealing our IP. China's, selling us all the cheap shit. China's hurting the American consumer. China's hurting the American manufacturer. China. No. Our government and our large corporations sent all the work to China, guys. Again, China just took advantage of their cheap labor, right? They were willing to let the slaves make the shit. They're willing to throw everything into the ocean, into their waterways. They're able to pollute their land. They can do all that shit. They can create power super easily. They can create buildings. They can create skyscrapers. They can create whatever they want because they don't have regulations. Meanwhile, we can't do any of that here in America. Right? So China's not the enemy, dude. America's the fucking enemy. We're our own worst enemy when it comes to progress in this country. The reason you guys can't make any fucking money is because, again, your federal government incentivizes businesses to send work to China. But again, the slave labor's over there, no regulations. Meanwhile, we increase the minimum wage, we increase everyone's wages, we increase all of the labor standards, we increase all of the OSHA standards, all the EPA standards, right? And then again, if you guys don't want to, if you guys, the businesses don't want to pay you guys the $32.50 an hour, you should be paid as a kind of a normie employee. Well, then they bring the third world in here, right? They bring in the people from Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, wherever, and they pay those guys, because they don't care about the regulations. They're actually paying those guys the same money they would pay you guys, but these guys don't bitch about the regulations. They're not going to fucking call HR because someone said the word faggot, okay? They're not going to call HR because someone said the word tranny, okay? Because they don't give a fuck. All they want to do is make money, and they live 5 to a room, and they'll send the money back to where they came from, make their people's quality of life better. This is how the economy really works, right? So again, when people say, oh my God, Russia's the worst country ever. No, the problem with Russia, guys, is that they have as many natural resources as America. Because they're the actual real manufacturing powerhouse. Like, again, and no one talks about what's really going on with Russia. Russia is another boogeyman. Now, was Russia always great? No, but they're not the enemy that we think they are, okay? Times have changed, right? But if you guys look at World War II, who was our actual ally in World War II? It was Russia. Russia took most of the fucking casualties in World War II. And again, we act like, oh my God, Russia's the worst country ever. Like, no, they helped us win World War II, guys. Again, I don't know. We all still think it's the Cold War. Again, I kind of make fun of the boomers a lot on here, and I'm one of those guys that, again, when I talk about the boomers, I'm talking about people that are 60, 65 years and up. And again, they still think it's 1979. Iran's going to crush our economy with the OPEC cartel. Russia's going to send bombs over to, or send missiles over to Cuba. We're going to end up having to do the Bay of Pigs thing all over again. It's just like, everything's changed, guys. you know how I get, guys. Anyway, we're living in different times, okay? The enemies that we have here today, believe it or not, are our government. It's they're the reason you guys can't make any money. They're inflating your life away. They don't know how to balance a budget. And as the government grows, guys, more and more money is injected into the economy by way of printing money and by way of the federal government taking from the productive class of people and giving it to the poor. And this is what screws over your guys' economy. This is why they can't pass a budget, right? This is why they can't stop the money printer. Is because if they do, that means we go into recession. Then China wins. Then Russia wins. Then every other economy wins because, again, they're a little bit more better with their money, might be a way to put it. But anyway, okay, I want to keep going. Sorry, guys. You can get me. You can get me going. Okay. Let's see. The mafia, the cartels. I know. Timer says our host reads Our comments, please be relevant. Ask questions and comments on the topic. Zero effort comments will be removed. There you go, guys. And thank you so much, Titan. Again, you guys got to put helpful stuff in there, right? We need to move the conversation back and forth. You tell me where I'm right. Tell me where I'm wrong. And again, I want to know what you guys do. Tell me what you guys do. All right, Sir All Dog, Sir AI Dog. Let's see, do you find it harder to make it from year to year, or has it been a bit easier? Okay, so Sir All Dog, believe it or not, it gets easier and easier, right? But that's not to say there aren't really difficult years, okay? So I tell you guys all the time, growing up, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, right? Bumfuck Egypt, out in Corvallis, Oregon. And I had to move all over in order to make money. But every time I moved, and when I say all over, I don't mean from town to town, to job, I mean from state to state. I've lived on the West Coast, I've lived on the East Coast. Right now I'm here in St. Louis. Every time I moved jobs, I made more money. I got more opportunity, right? So over my years, everything has gotten easier. The low points in my life were divorce. Divorce fucked me more than anything. Having a kid fucked me more than anything. Okay, now you might say, oh my God, Eric, that's antithetical to what you've been saying. No, it's like as I get older in life, I realize the failure points in my life, and I'm able to look back on it and go, okay, well, had I done this differently, right, my life would be different in, in ways A, B, and C. Okay, so over the years, life has actually gotten easier, right? But the reason it's gotten easier is because I've changed how I look at life. I've changed how I look at making money. I've changed how I look at what it is that I do from day to day. And again, as I explain how I make money, guys, I hope you guys can understand that the reason I make money and the reason I'm able to keep up with inflation is because A, I sell to rich people, and the other thing is that my life is nothing but a content creating scheme and a tax avoidant scheme. This is all that I do. Everything I do in my life creates content, adds to one of my revenue streams, or helps me defer taxes. And that's all I do. And again, you guys can think, oh, that doesn't sound like fun. That's terrible. What are you doing? You mean you work all the time? No, I don't work all the time. But I think about my life in those terms, So again, I'll get into this stuff, and we'll bat it around. So, Sir AI Dog, again, one more thing for you, dude, is during COVID, I had more money than I've ever had in my entire life, and I lost every bit of it. Okay, so again, just because you're living large one day doesn't mean you're going to be in the poorhouse the next day. And this is how I've seen my life. This is literally, my life has been a roller coaster of making money. Now, had I just worked for someone else my entire life, I'd still be making, hell, I'd probably be making $100,000 working for Gulfstream, but I decided to close out that chapter of my life and try this entrepreneurial chapter. And again, way more rewarding working for myself than somebody else, okay? But it's 10 times as hard, and it never turns off, So, okay. I hope that gives you something to think about there, Sir AI Dog. Okay, Nick Washington, G90. What happened to Murr from Impractical Jokers? All right, not sure what you're saying there, dude, but thanks for your comment. Okay, yeah, I'm old. All right, BS Gaming Blitz. That's cool. And okay, I run a landscaping company as a main business, but I do not do any plowing in the winter. I do an Amazon truck business, but I only pays for driver and gas and very little profit. Okay, fantastic. Well, Sir AI Dog, so again, sounds like what you're doing is you've got, again, multiple revenue streams. And again, this is the thing that I think we need to, what you guys are going to find out is that a revenue stream starts with an idea. A revenue stream starts with just trying. A revenue stream starts with not making any money. It takes years to build up a revenue stream. But if you make this a part of your daily life with all these different revenue streams, suddenly you go from making no money, in fact, losing money, to where you're making a penny, to where you're making $1, to where you're making $10. You guys see how this thing grows on itself. Some things grow very quickly. Other things grow, it takes forever. They never grow. Right? And other things, they start making money and they start losing. And you start kind of stair-stepping this thing, but you hope over time that as you're stair-stepping this thing, you go up, right? But consistency, above all, is the key to success. That's it. It's just consistency. It's being able to last longer than the average person in the industry that you're in, right? So we got several business owners in here. Maybe they can put some input in here. My guess is that, like with Titan Brew, who's one of our moderators, also had a business for a long time. My guess is that Titan Brew would say that consistency is probably the most important thing in business. You just got to outlast everyone. You got to be willing to go to work when other people don't want to. You got to be able to put in the time when, again, the fucking guys don't show up. You got to be the guy that's willing to go out there and get the work done, right? And keep that business going. And keeping that business going leads you to take more swings at more sales, gives you more opportunities. And over time, these things stack up. Then you got regular customers, right? Then you get this thing called the Lindy effect, where you've been in business long enough to where, again, people just know you. They associate you with the product, right? My business is high gloss lacquered furniture, right? When people think of high gloss lacquered furniture, they don't think of any other company. I think of the Resplendent Crow because we've been in business for almost 10 years. Like, it's been a long time. So I would imagine the Lindy effect, is very helpful to a lot of other people that are in business for a long time. So, okay, Sir AI Dog, I remember you talking about having a landscaping company, man. That's really cool. I need to remember that. Okay, let's see. I have a small store, to-go restaurant, which pretty much are on the same level as a trucking company. They only make enough to support the people that work there. Yes. Again, that's how it starts. Again, that's how everything that I've ever had started, right? And again, there's times when my business, I mean, even though we've been in business for a long time, there's months where it only makes enough money to support the people. It makes less money than supporting the people, right? And that's the risk we take as business owners, right? To grow this thing. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you're working on whatever you're working on, your Amazon truck business, right? If that thing doesn't produce money, the effort that it takes to keep that thing going will not be enough, right? And then you'll have another opportunity. You'll go look at that opportunity. And then again, you'll constantly be moving these businesses back and forth, trying to figure out exactly what it is that is going to move forward, right? Is this business that you're running today is even relevant? Because the truth is that what's popular today might not be popular tomorrow. Again, Amazon drivers are the thing today. Well, maybe it's going to be Waymo drivers tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be autonomous vehicles tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be autonomous trucking. And again, I don't know. That's not my business. But again, this is how I look at furniture. I look at furniture the same thing. Like, okay, so lacquered furniture is hot this month. Okay, well, maybe natural furniture is going to be hot next year. So then maybe I got to change up my advertising. Maybe I got to change up the products that I'm building. Maybe I got to change up the R&D that I'm doing. And again, handcrafted furniture has been wildly popular for a long time. Well, maybe people aren't going to have the money. Maybe the business isn't going to be there anymore, and then we're going to end up needing to do more of the automated stuff. Maybe it is only going to make sense in America to make it in China, right? Which then maybe we got to change our business model. So, Sir AI Dog, sounds like you got some good things going on there. You're really kind of trying to figure out exactly what works. You got a little bit of capital, that you can try out some of these new businesses, man. And it's tough. Another thing, Sir AI Dog, you might want to consider is buying a business. There's a lot of places where you can buy companies if you have some excess capital. You can go get small business loans with, I think you got to put 10% down, and then you can do that. So my wife's talked about doing it. We haven't done it yet, but that's something that we're considering. I'm not a guy that likes to run multiple businesses. I like furniture. It's what I know. I've done it my entire life, so I'm a little bit less adventurous as my wife would be when it comes to small business, So, but yeah, other things to think about. All right, so we're at in the comments. Okay, good. Holy shit, I'm kind of behind, guys. Okay, let's do a few more comments. I'm going to dig into the bulk of my discussion. I'm going to tell you guys how I make money. I want you guys to put in how you make money. Sir AI Dog is putting in there some good information. And I want you guys to tell us how long you've been doing what you do, right? Do you have multiple revenue streams? Are you trying to make money in different kinds of ways? What are those ways that you're trying to make money? Put that stuff in the comments. I want to go back and forth with everyone. Again, I'm going to give you guys all my ways to make money. Again, some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them are growing, some of them are failing. And this is the reality of making money today because, again, not everyone can be a tech AI bro. Not everyone can be a real estate mogul and a Bitcoin billionaire. There's a lot of us got to live in the real world, and that's what our stream is going to be about today. So, okay, let's see. Zhong, is this Zhong Fire, man? Cool name. All right, I haven't seen it before. Okay, Arctic 5 has only been triggered in response to 9/11. Okay, well, again, you're kind of making my point, man. Again, like Trump thinks that, the guy's borderline retarded, I think sometimes. Like, he can't be this dumb, but he sure sounds like, it's like, hey, we're going to go fuck this thing up. Now you guys, you're going to fix it. It's like, well, wait a minute. We didn't do that. Why do we got to fix it? Seems like common sense to me, but, I don't know, man. Like, so I'm just a dumb furniture maker. Okay. Lone Wolf and Cubs back in here. Lone Wolf, good to see you. I find myself putting up money for when Democrats run America. Okay, again, like you guys can make money no matter who's the president. The making money, like making income, right, is less to do about the person that's in power. Like, again, like Donald Trump talks about tax cuts. Okay, as a business owner, the best tax cut I'm going to pay about 2% less in my profits. And the best tax cut I got as a business owner is this bonus depreciation and the R&D tax credits, right? So basically, what you guys need to understand is that when I bought a CNC router, I paid 20 grand for it. I'm basically going to save probably about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on my taxes, right? Because I'm able to write up the entire cost of this thing, even though I'm only making whatever $600 payments on the thing. I didn't pay the full 20 grand for it. I put nothing down. I took out a loan for it. Okay, so again, but I get to write the entire thing off on my income, right? Or excuse me, on my balance sheet. So fantastic way to make money. Also, while I'm trying to learn how to use this router, I get to take advantage of what's called the R&D tax credit. You guys, you're gonna have to go look this up. I'm not gonna go into the details because I don't have it off the top of my head. But basically, what it means is that if I create an Excel spreadsheet and I document all the plywood that I fuck up, all the router bits that I fuck up, all of the, you know, MDF that I buy, everything that I do to try and learn how to use this router, right? I can write off all that time and material. So this is going to be yet another expense that I get to put on my balance sheet to help me on my taxes. Wildly helpful thing, okay? It's fantastic for business owners that are taking on new equipment, that are buying, training new people. It's fantastic, you know? So those are the kind of things that I'm looking at that are going to help me as a business owner. A lot of people can't take advantage of this stuff, you know? So Trump gave you guys this tax credit for no overtime, and no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, okay? There aren't a lot of people making money on tips. I know they'll say they are, but there really is a small part of the economy. Again, the overtime economy, with the cost of living and the amount of money that we have to pay our employees, guess what? I'm not paying overtime when I don't have to. You know, I've got other employees who need the money, right? I can't give them raises, so we are giving them overtime to help them out to make some more money. You know, then it's a win-win. They actually get to make significantly more money. We get more production, and it's a win-win in that regard. But we can't do that with everything because we can't price all of our jobs with overtime in mind. Like, we just don't do that. No business can do that. Well, some business can. Very few businesses can price their product with overtime in mind, you know, so. All right, let's see. This is Nevadan driver. What side are you on? What side of what, Nevada driver? Glad you're here, though. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about politics, I don't know if you're talking about if I'm gay. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let me know. Okay, let's see. Well, an electric car, smart move. Smart move RN. Petrol is nearly a liter. Yeah, electric vehicles are awesome. Like, I got a Tesla. We got a Model Y. And the cost to charge that thing up for a month is about $100. It really isn't that much. And I don't exactly live close to my business, okay? I've got a 30-mile drive one way to my business from where I live. So having an electric vehicle is wildly cheap. However, if you guys notice, the cost of energy has gone up significantly, right? And again, everyone's blaming it on AI, right? The truth is that a lot of it comes from electric vehicles. When you go from, you know, whatever, millions and millions of vehicles, you know, getting petrol or gasoline every day of the year, and then you go where, whatever, 10% of those vehicles are now electrified. Okay, that's a big draw on the electric grid, you know. And again, electric vehicles have been the rage for at least since Biden was in office, you know. So what, 5-6 years at this point? So there's been a lot of people who have been drawing on that power grid, you know. And then you factor in the AI thing, and yeah, there's more to that. But yeah, I think electric vehicles is a great way to save money if you want to beat the high gas prices. You know, even when gas was cheap, the electric vehicle was still cheaper. Not much, but it still was cheaper, you know. So now it's a no-brainer. So if you can, and the truth is, guys, here's the thing: if you can pick up an electric vehicle, like go buy a Model 3 with 200,000 miles on it. Go buy a Model Y with 200,000 miles on it. Okay. Charging network is awesome for Tesla, okay? The vehicles have almost no maintenance, right? There's hardly anything that can break. When something does break, it can get expensive, but again, it's gonna cost you $100 a month to charge that vehicle. If you drive like I do, you're driving, you can drive as much as 60 miles a day, you know? So again, electric vehicles make all the sense in the world. Okay, Shadow Wizard Money Gang 1312. Seems like they could buy from China. Okay, not sure you're saying there. J-Pole's in here. J-Pole 3808. Titan. Okay. We're in a lot of, let's see. I see you in a lot of chats, guy. I do the same. Got to have some fun sometimes. Hey, all right, cool. Kevin Griffin, 9771. What happened to the Epstein files? Again, we're talking Epstein files today. I talk about that shit all the time. We're talking about making money, guys. We're talking about different kinds of revenue streams. We're talking about changing your mindset to making money. All right, Mr. Dunham B4N. Let's see. We're going in debt billion a day for this Palantir war loss. Yeah, again, our country's in deep shit, guys. But you can win. You can stay. You can keep your head above water. You are gonna have to work more, and you're gonna have to work differently. All right, good morning. All right, hey folks, would only stay on topic. This would be easy. I know, right? Everyone wants to jump all over the place, which again, I don't mind, but maybe that's a cue type. Maybe we should jump into our the bulk of our topic. All right, Bethany's in here. Good to see you, or Bethy, excuse me. Okay, why are Epstein files so lengthy? Okay, you guys want to talk about Epstein? We'll talk about Epstein at the end of our discussion. Okay, we're going to jump into the bulk of our conversation. We're talking about making money. We're talking about revenue streams as an idiot. Guy never graduated high school. I'm going to tell you guys how to make some money, okay? And again, I don't have a program. I'm going to tell you guys how to get rich. I'm going to tell you that any of this stuff is going to work for you. I'm just going to tell you what I've done, and it does work. You know, it's not always easy. Sometimes there's a lot more work than I want it to be, but that's okay. All right. So how can you grow your income as a normie? Okay, again, guys, we're gonna do comments here at the end of my discussion, so you guys have to give me some rope here as I do this thing. Look, we got lots of comments in here. Again, I'm not gonna be able to keep up, you guys. So if you want your comment read right away, you're gonna have to do a super chat, super like. It's the only way that I'm gonna be able to keep up. I'm gonna I'll give my spiel here on how we make money. You guys can put your information in there, and then we'll bat this thing around some more. So again, I appreciate everyone being here this morning, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And thank God it's Saturday, man. It's a freaking busy week. Okay, here we go. So how can you grow income as a normie? Okay, I wrote down a bunch of things. I'm going to go through the spiel here, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I do. Okay, again, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right. Tell me if you guys have tried this stuff. Has it worked? Has it failed? I want to know what you guys think about this. It's very important. Okay, so one of the things you guys can do right off the bat is simple. Just change industry. You're in a dying industry. Your industry doesn't make any fucking money. Okay, and again, you might love being a chef, right? You might love being a cook. You might love whatever it is you do, but you can't make any money. What's the point? You got to make some money. Okay, so again, not the easiest thing to tell people, but you might be in the wrong industry. You might be in a dying industry. Okay, you might be in an industry where there's a ton of competition. You might be in an industry where you're actually not that good at what you do. You know, oh, I love cooking. I'm such a good cook. Okay, well, why can't you make any money? You're not that good. You know, oh, I got a shitty employer. I got a shitty boss. Okay, great move. There's lots of businesses. Contrary to popular belief, the economy is kicking along. It might not be kicking along at the clip you guys want, but it is kicking along, right? So there are plenty of opportunities to hire people. Everyone says, oh, there's no jobs. Bullshit. There's plenty of jobs out there, okay? So I'm not one of these guys that believes that you can't change industries. It's never too late to change industries, by the way. It might be scary, and the older you get, I think it gets harder to do, if I'm being completely honest, but it can be done, okay? Other things you can do is you can work overtime. Okay, again, I, as a normie guy, never graduated high school. I just happened to jump into an industry where overtime was the norm. Okay, again, I told you guys many times, often I would have more money in overtime than I did in regular pay. So we'd work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. It wasn't uncommon to just make shit tons of money. Okay, this is the only way I was able to afford the life that I had was because I worked 50 to as much as 80 hours a week my entire life. Okay, so when people bitch about working overtime, well, I gotta work overtime this week. Oh, I gotta work overtime next week. Oh, I don't want to work any extra hours. Okay, I did it for decades. Okay, meant I always had nice houses. I had nice cars. I was able to buy everything. I save for retirement, go on vacations, have kids, do all the things that everyone says they want to do. Overtime was my path, plain and simple. And again, there was no tax on overtime pledge from our president. It was just fucking work is what you had to do. Okay, and the other thing about overtime is that when you work overtime, guess what? You're always around. You're always there, which leads to volunteering, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Okay, again, when you're working overtime, you're always there. When the boss is around and everyone's gone, guess what? You're always there. When the lead's there, and again, everyone else is gone, you're always there. You become the person that suddenly gets all the opportunities. Okay, overtime is a great conduit. Plus, you get paid time and a half. Okay, so again, if you're one of these guys, well, I can't get any overtime. Why do I have? Okay, good. Fucking move careers. Oh, I don't want to move careers. I like my job. Okay, well then stay where you are. Not that complicated, okay? Now, the next thing you can do is you can volunteer, right? What does volunteer mean, okay? What does it mean? You got to volunteer in the soup kitchen? No. Volunteer for the bitch work. Volunteer for the bullshit work. Volunteer for doing the work. Hey, maybe you're not even getting paid. Maybe say, hey, I can help you out at home. There's lots of ways to do things, okay? And I've done all of these things, okay? I actually got an opportunity where I would volunteer to go help another company in Savannah, Georgia to learn how to do CAD. Okay, this was CATIA. CATIA V5 was the program we were using at the time, right? So I got to volunteer to go help a company learn this kind of stuff, and then they paid me $30 an hour to do it. Okay, which again, back in the day was decent money. Okay, that turned into where I was working an extra 20 hours a week for these guys, while I was working 40 hours a week working for Gulfstream. Okay, so again, that turned into a career where not only did I get to teach people things, I got better at what it is I was doing. I created a relationship with the company by volunteering. Okay, so volunteering to do things can lead to all kinds of things. The other thing is that when your company needs someone to go to fucking New Zealand or needs someone to fly up to Atlanta, you know, to go to Coca-Cola or fly out to California to go to Pepsi, okay, be the guy that says, fine, I'll go do it, right? When the company says, you know what, hey, the economy's gone to shit, right? We're cutting costs, you know, we need people to clean toilets, okay? Be the guy, yeah, I'll clean toilets. Be the guy that volunteers to go back to the mill shop where all the newbies are, even though you're the fucking R&D furniture maker that makes all the cool shit. Volunteer to go back there. Guess what? Then you're going to become the lead back there, right? Then you become the guy that sets all the programming agenda, right, for the people that are going to do the work back in the lead, right? Then you become the teacher. This volunteering will help you guys grow your skills. It will help you guys to grow your opportunities. It will lead into other things. So you get the overtime, you get the added benefits from volunteering. You can grow your income by growing your skills within your company, becoming the man that does everything. Okay, so one of the most effective ways I know to grow your skills. And again, if you're one of these people, again, as a normie, right? Again, guy never graduated high school. Okay, This is one of your only assets. You know, so I hate to tell you guys this, that your time is not what you think it's worth. Your time is worth nothing. Your time belongs to your employer, right? And again, if you have the opportunity to volunteer, volunteer. It'll take you places. You might not like to hear that kind of stuff. Oh, I don't want to work forever. Oh, how am I supposed to spend time with my family? How am I supposed to see my kids? How am I supposed to how am I supposed to go to my fucking fantasy football league? How am I supposed to go bowling? Like, you don't. You don't. You put all that shit, you grow the fuck up, you put all that shit back, and you go work. You go volunteer. You go work the overtime. You go be the guy that the boss always thinks about because, oh, fucking Eric will always do it. Bob will always do it. You become that guy. Oh, he's going to take advantage of me. Yeah, well, taking advantage of you turns into you getting all the fucking opportunities. Okay, and it just does. I hate to tell you this. This is how it works. People don't like to hear this kind of stuff, but this is how it works. Oh, my boss doesn't do it. He just takes advantage of me. Good, move. Go someplace else. Oh, I don't have any money. Okay, you're one of these people that always has problems. Okay, and I can't help you. I'm just going to tell you guys what I do, how I did it, how I make money now, okay? Because I think it's very important people hear the truth. You know, I'm not trying to tell you guys nothing. This isn't a sales thing. All right, so you can volunteer, right? Other thing you can do, right? Everyone knows how anti-academia I am. Everyone always tells you, oh, I fucking hates college, right? The other thing you do, go back to school, right? So one of the things I pulled up here is we have a technical school here called Rankin Technology, okay? This is one of the great things you can do if you want to work in the trades, right? If you want to be a guy that works with hands, you want to be a furniture maker, cabinet maker, painter, welder, whatever you want to do. There's schools that teach you guys how to do this stuff, right? So you can go get them. They've got financial aid. They've got tuition assistance. You can take your time, work your 40 hours a week, right? And then go to school part-time. And you can go learn something that's going to make you some money. That's going to give you access to jobs that have overtime, that give you access to careers where you can volunteer and learn new things, where your paycheck is limitless. There's a lot of opportunity out there, right? Some of the highest paying jobs in America right now are welders, are fabricators, are machinists, you know, are people that work in the oil and gas industry, right? These are great jobs. You know, you have to work your fucking ass off though, right? These are linemen. These are people that go into places that are ravaged by fires, ravaged by hurricanes, right? Fantastic ways to make money, you know, but you got to go learn something, okay? And if you can't, you have access to the opportunity to learn things at your job. You can't volunteer. There's no overtime. Go back to college. Oh, I don't have the money, okay? Again, trust me, there's infinite amounts of money to send you back to school. There is a little bit of risk there. You are going to have to take on a loan. You are going to take on some debt for sure, you know, and I'm not an advocate for that, but at the same time, that's your avenue. Go learn something else. Be willing to go try some new things, right? Don't be the guy that pisses and moans and whines about his plight, okay? You're not fucking stuck. You just don't want to put in the work. I hate to tell you, this is how I see it, okay? So you can go back to school. Wildly important that people know they can do this. Now, what are the careers that are paying, okay? Are you in a dead-end job? Are you in one of these people that works in a fucking career where you're never going to make any money? Because, again, there's no money in what it is that you're doing. If you're one of these people that thinks that you're stuck, you're not stuck. You just need to go fucking learn something. You go into a career where there's actual money made, okay? Let's go over the top careers. Where is all the money being made right now, okay? Here's the thing. I did a quick search. All right, so I said, hold on one second, guys. I went into what are the top 5 industries that pay overtime regularly. Okay, and again, guys, I'm going to get into how I make money. This is not how I make money now, but we're going to go into how the normies can do it, right, and how you can turn this into something else, all right? Top 5 industries, information technology, right, IT, right? Again, everyone thinks it's all H-1B visas and Indians. No, it's not. Anyone can do this work. Lots of opportunity to work overtime. And the other one's cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has been growing forever. It's still growing. Everyone's terrified that Iran's going to come in and, you know, Russia's going to come in and China's going to come in and they're going to blow up our infrastructure through the computer, right? Cybersecurity is a growing industry. You can make shit tons of money, okay? Healthcare. Healthcare is massive, okay? I'm always making fun of the boomers. The boomers are dying. The boomers are all in need to go to the hospital. Again, the boomers need home health aides. The boomers need everything, right? And again, there's infinite amounts of money for it because they're the largest voting bloc for the Republican Party. So again, they'll always get the money. So if you want to go make some money, healthcare. Lots of opportunity for overtime in healthcare, right? Finance and financial services. Okay, I can't believe this is one of them, but it was listed, so I'm going to read it, right? I don't know what the fuck you're going to do in financial services, but apparently it's a growing one, okay? The other one is professional business services, all right? This is consulting, legal, accounting. Always a growing industry. They're growing forever. Go learn some shit. You can get in that industry lots of overtime. Tons of it. Tons of opportunity in finance, okay? There has been for a long time. All right, energy. This is the one that I think you guys should actually get into. This is where you want to make money. Get in the industry, the energy sector. This is oil and gas. Right? This is being alignment, working on power lines, working on power generation. If it were up to me and I had to go learn some shit, I want to go work for somebody else. This is the industry that I would get into. I would move heaven and earth to move to Oklahoma, to move to Texas, to move to Louisiana. Low cost of living, massive ability to make money. The income potential there is limitless. But guess what? You might have to go live in a fucking tent, living off of a generator, working on oil pipelines in the middle of nowhere. But guess what? You're going to make $150,000 to $250,000 a year. It might cost you a couple of marriages. Your kids might not know who you are, but you will make a shit ton of money. Okay? So energy, fantastic place to go, right? Now, the other thing I asked is, what are the top blue-collar industries with overtime, right? Again, because I'm a blue-collar guy. I talk to a lot of blue-collar people here. We have a lot of business owners that do blue-collar work, okay? Guess what the number one is? The number one industry for overtime is going to be electrical power line installer and repairer. These are called linemen. Okay, and if you guys have ever lived in a state where there's hurricanes, okay, these guys are waiting like a fucking army to come into these states that are ravaged, okay? In North Carolina, when they had the floods, the linemen were waiting. When the hurricanes are coming into Georgia, where I'm from, the linemen are waiting. If you live in Florida, the linemen are waiting, and they're just waiting for that hurricane to come through. They're lined up like a fucking army, and the minute that thing's gone, guess what? Those guys' clocks get ticked on. They're making $200,000 a year. Easiest money you'll ever make, you know, with the least amount of education, right? So again, go be a lineman. The work's everywhere. But again, you're going to have to travel. There's no such thing as easy money, guys. I hear this all the time. Oh, I just want to make good money. I just want to work 40 hours a week. Those days are over. Okay? Very difficult to make money just working 40 hours a week. Okay, linemen, number one. Electricians, right? So again, what happens when the power goes out? You need an electrician, right? What happens if you live in a large growth state like California or like Texas? Again, you got to have someone to build the shit. Okay, so again, you're constantly needing super high demand for industrial electricians, commercial electricians, the AI data centers that everyone's talking shit on. Guess what? Electricians are crushing it. You want to start a small business? Electrician might be the way to go. You know, so electricians, we got welders. Welders, again, same thing. Industrial commercials blowing up. This is where the money is. Okay, again, when the power goes out, when disaster strikes, guess what? The welders are getting paid fuck tons of money. Okay, this is where you need to be. Okay, plumbers, pipe fitters, steam fitters. Okay, my dad made $150,000 a year as a steam fitter. Okay, these are guys that work on boilers. Okay, again, all your major buildings in the world, they don't run on fucking normal HVAC. They run on massive boiler systems. Okay, go learn some shit about how heat's created. Learn some shit about how air conditioning is done. Okay, again, these are massively in demand. They're only going to get higher in demand. Okay. And that's the last thing, okay? They said HVAC technician, but again, anyway, we'll dig into that later. But anyway, so there are a lot of industries where you can make a shit ton of money in overtime. I talk about overtime because it's how I made money. It's how I was able to operate in the world as being a guy who didn't have a high school education, okay? Overtime is fantastic. Find an industry where it exists, okay? I talked about going to school. I talked about learning how to be an income machine, okay? This is the thing. Your life has to be about making money. It doesn't mean life sucks. It doesn't mean that you're constantly working. It doesn't mean any of that shit. It just means you have to turn your life into something that generates income, which is what I've done. Okay, and this is the key to how I make my money, which I will get into, okay? That's another way. The other thing is I wrote down is that you need to change how you look at work, okay? Your life needs to become this thing called like, know, and trust. Your life, say it one more time, your life needs to become about like, know, and trust. Okay, so I say this to a lot of my cats. I don't think people understand this, that it's wildly important that people know who you are, they like who you are, and they trust who you are. Okay? It's the most important thing to any business. It's the most important thing to anyone that wants to make money. It's the most important. So it's a reason that as a dumb guy, right, I can go work for any aerospace company in the world because I've created this thing called like, know, and trust, which I will get into. Okay, I can go get any job anywhere in America that deals with management, small business, big business, CAD, CAM, any of this stuff because of like, know, and trust. Okay, it's from a lifetime of creating content. Okay, let's see. Last couple notes. I'm gonna dig into how we make money. Let's see. Everything you do is about growth. Yeah. Okay. I wrote down this thing. I said everything you do is about growth. Right. Everything is about supporting this like, know, and trust thing. It's about content creation, income streams, and reducing taxes. Okay. So, all right, here we go. So let's say hi to everyone real quick, and then we're digging into how I make my money. Again, let me get my next page here. So again, if I count up my Instagram streams, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ways. Right, so some of this will apply to you guys, some of it won't, but hopefully I can give you some information. All right, scrolling down to the end, and again, sorry guys, you have to do super chats and super likes in order for me to read your comments. Scroll down to the end, And we're going to go back. Okay, work 80 hours per week. I know H2W25. I know it's so funny. Oh my God, Eric. Oh, it's so terrible. His 80-hour week lifestyle. God, when he walks outside, he almost falls in the fucking river. It's terrible. Oh my God. Eric gets to drive whatever cars he wants. It's so bad. Oh my God, this whole working thing, consumerism. Oh my God, it's so bad. Oh God, whenever we go on vacation, Eric gets to pay for it. Oh, it's so terrible. When he goes out to dinner, oh my God, Eric always picks up the check. Oh, it's so terrible. I feel so bad about working 80 hours a week. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my God. I sure do hate watching the barges go up and down the river while most people have to look at the fucking apartment complex across the street or maybe the bus stop. It's so bad. Oh, I hate it. It wasn't worth it. 46 years old, I look back at my life, I have such regret. So anyway, that's all the entertainment I can give you there. So H2W25, yeah, I know. Okay, let's see, Jonathan Spencer, 8305. I work 60 to 100 hours per week. All right, Jonathan Spencer, let me know what you do, man. I want to know what industry you're in. All right, Cable's got messages retracted. Okay, Matthew Grubb, 7465. See, get your own hours. Okay, not sure what's going on there. I think I like what you're saying. All right, this is Preach It Son. See, Rat Catcher. All right, cool, man. I have a friend that works in animal trapping, pest control, and he makes a very good living. Yes, this is what I was telling you guys. One of the best ways to make money is just do something that people don't want to do. Again, I use the example all the time on my streams. If I could do this again, if I was going to invest in a business, you know what I invest in? I would invest in a septic tank cleaning company. That's what I would do. Why not? Go clean shit. You know, last time, like, so I got a septic tank out here. I live on the bluffs, right? So they have to take a hose and they got to run it down about 200 feet down on a cliff. And that's where my septic tank is. And then I got this big truck up there, you know, the thing that holds all the shit. They got a massive motor on the back of it and it pulls the stuff out of the septic tank, right? So this company, I'm out there talking to this guy. You know, this guy, he's just a hillbilly guy, you know, and he actually brought his wife with him, right? And this is all that they do. That's all they do. They make a fantastic living. They make about $250,000 a year doing this. It's great money. And guess what? It's always in demand because whether the economy is good or the economy is bad, guess what people do? It never ends. So yeah, just do some of the pest control. I imagine the same thing. You know, whether it's bugs and insects or it's, you know, getting skunks and raccoons. I mean, God, we got fucking raccoons all over the place out here. You can't get rid of the damn things. So Tidenborough, I think you got a great comment there. All right, Eric Powell, 7547. Put up a flyer doing anything. It's wide open. Yeah, and I've done that before. I've actually tried this before, and that didn't work as well as putting a magnetic sign on my car. So I used to drive around. I had something called Wilkin Woodcraft was one of my old failed businesses, and I got more business from just going over to Signs Now and getting magnetic business signs. They make them. They just magnetically stick to your vehicle. It was the best thing I did. It wasn't, I mean, it didn't generate massive sales, but it did generate sales. It was well worth the effort of getting those signs made. I think I had 2 or 3 cars at the time, and just getting those signs put on my girlfriend's car, put it on my car. And again, they're magnetic. They just come right off. Fantastic way. And yeah, you guys will see the people that put the signs out there, you know, put them on crosswalks and just put them anywhere they can. And it must work because people do it. I never did that, but it must work. And again, don't be above, you know, fucking being the guy that walks out there and sets a sign on the street, you know, like just do it. It doesn't cost anything, you know. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you like $7 for the sign. That's like it. Like go buy 100 of those things and put them everywhere. You'll get some sales. Like, and again, people think that like the one thing that you do is going to lead to success, right? It's not that one thing. It's time. Time times effort equals success, right? Again, I don't know who said it. I didn't say it, but it kind of the equation, you know. So, all right, let's see. Tiber says asphalt paving is strenuous work. That's one person. That's one reason most people don't want to do it. The person who doesn't mind working hard can earn a good living doing the jobs that people don't want to do. Yeah, and this is kind of how I say it. Again, it is hard. It can be hard on your body. I'm not saying that it is. You will trade something. There's no doubt about it. But there's no free lunch, guys. Like there's no easy way to make money. The people that, you know, tell you, oh God, all you do is buy gold, buy my course on how to get rich. Most of the people that follow those programs, and when I say most, I mean like 95% of all the people don't make it. Not because the program doesn't work and the idea doesn't work. The ideas have worked forever. The ideas, the things that you think make money have been going on forever. These are not, the people that sell the shit, they're not selling you guys anything new. It's the people that put in the effort that see the success. It's not the program. It's the effort, right? And sometimes it's the network. It's the connections. It's who you know. All right, Eric Powell, power lines, 100%, man. Matthew Grubb, 7465. Yeah, power lines, good money in copper, miles and miles to cut and melt. Yeah, and again, there's a lot of people that. So here's another way to make money. It's funny. I got these two black guys. They come by probably, I don't know, they probably come by twice a year. And they always come by because guess what? I have a brass hardware business. Well, guess what gets recycled really well? It's brass. It's actually worth a lot of money. And you'd be like, oh, Eric, why don't you go take that yourself? It's like, I don't want to fucking go to those places. I got other things to do. So I let these guys, they come through. I save it. I probably give them, I don't know, I probably give them 500 to 1,000 pounds of reject hardware a year. Every time we bring vintage hardware in, we just throw it in a tub and we get rid of it because we don't use it. We then sell our hardware at a massive markup and make a ton of money on it, right? That's how our business model works. So again, why would I even take the time to run down to the recycling place? I just let the guys come in. They come get it. It's fantastic. Then they come, they pick up any other bullshit that I have that's metal. They come, they basically clean up anything I got laying around. They just clean me out. It works out great, you know. So, but yeah, there's a ton of money in recycled metals if you want to run around and pick the stuff up. I would think that if you get a steady list of people you can pick shit up from on the regular, I bet you could make some decent money, you know. So. All right, Tiber linemen had their work cut out for them after Hurricane Ian here in Salem. Yeah, I bet they did, man. But again, what do you think, Ty? Do you think those guys made any money while they were out there? You know, I went through two hurricanes. I went through was it Matthew, and I forget the other one. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and again, like Savannah, Georgia is known for not getting hurricanes, but the time that I lived there, we got two of them. And yeah, it's like these guys are fucking awesome when you see these when you're on the news waiting for the hurricane because they know the hurricane's coming, right? Everyone's leaving that wants to leave. Other people are riding it out. But again, these utility workers, they're just literally just building them up, right? As that hurricane gets closer, they figure out exactly where it's going to go. They just start staging these guys, and they're just waiting. And the minute that hurricane comes through, it's safe to go back in. I mean, they just go in, and they just get shit going again. I know they make just tons of money. They just make bank. And good for them, man. It's freaking awesome. All right, let's see, Carl D71, are you Japanese? All right, great comment there, Carl. Okay, Eric Powell, plumbers. Yep, plumbers make good money. All right, see, I worked out doing parking lots and drainage repairs on the weekends. These are small jobs that the bigger asphalt companies would turn down. Yep, wasn't long before that I began accepting larger contracts, replacing small parking lots and driveways. And again, Titan's just saying exactly what I'm telling you guys. Again, being the guy that volunteers for things, right? And again, he's taking on small jobs as an asphalt guy. He's taking on those tiny jobs, and those tiny jobs can turn into bigger jobs, you know. And again, not every time, and it doesn't work. You'll probably end up doing a lot more small jobs than you were those big jobs. But once you get those relationships, again, the people that you're doing that small work for, they can become the big people, or they know other people that need that work, and then you become that guy that takes those smaller jobs, and as a smaller business, they lead into bigger jobs, right? And again, as your company grows, believe it or not, you can't do that smaller work. It's much more difficult. But then, hey, you pass that on to your guys, right? You got a guy, or maybe you know people in your network. Again, like for us, we don't do a lot of stained furniture. Right? We don't do a lot of stain repairs and fixing furniture and shit like that. If people don't want restorations, but again, we know people do this stuff, so we then send them that work, and then they send the other work to us. You know, it works out good. You know, so Titan Brew, I like you sharing your stuff. Okay, and again, if you guys are in the chat, I know we have a ton of people in here right now, but if you're in the chat, tell us your stories. How do you make money? What is it you do? What do you make? How long have you been doing what you're doing, right? Do you have multiple ways of making money? Okay, I'm going to get into how I make money. All right, I need 5 clones of myself. I can't keep up. All right, Eric Powell, that's cool, man. I sometimes feel the same way. See, JPOL3808, I have a friend doing that right now. Had a small construction company doing now and employs 3 people. Fantastic. Okay, I would do a repair on the parking lot and eventually get the contractor to replace the entire lot. Love it. All right, JPOL3808, I hope your friend is successful. The biggest obstacle for getting a business is simply getting started. Once you're on the move, the work typically finds itself. Yeah, that's a good point. Make sure he knows I'm retracting my own messages so you keep the chat clear for him. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, see, it's okay, JPOL, Erica. Like these types of comments, they keep the topic flowing. It's okay. Eric, like these, can I like things? I don't know if I could do that. I don't know how this stuff kind of works. Report, remove, pin message. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there, Titan. Eric, like these types of comments. All right. See, hazmat, CDL work. Yep, hazmat's a great way to make money. Again, the demand is high and the people who want to do the work is low. Oil field, yes, tons of money. Okay, cool. I made it to the comments. Look at that. See how the biggest boost to my business came from. I unknowingly knocked on the door of our local city manager, asking if he wanted a new driveway. His was a mess. He invited me to bid on city job. I also earned the contract for replacing the city manager's driveway. Yeah, and again, I've told the story many times. So the way that my stepdad started his furniture company that lasted 22 years was he put a desk in the local school administrative building in Corvallis, Oregon. It turned into 22 years of selling furniture to all of the municipalities in Corvallis, Oregon. Again, selling work to municipalities in Eugene, Oregon, Corvallis, Oregon, and Albany, Oregon. And lasted 22 years until 9/11 happened and everyone stopped spending money. But yeah, the jobs you take on, or the interest that you take on in taking on jobs, right? Looking for work, these kind of things. Like you never know you never know who you're talking to, and so there's a lot of ways to make money, So all right, let's dig into the income streams, guys. I made it through the comments. Again, anyone's still here clearly is interested in knowing how Eric makes money, and we'll dig into this. All right, so here we go. Get a quick cup of coffee. Again, appreciate everybody this morning. Hit the like button out of the discussion. We're at 70 minutes, so it looks like I'm going to make it out of here in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe I can get out of here in 90 minutes. How cool would that be? I'm literally doing foyer work this weekend, okay? Me and my wife were working on a foyer, and I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about why we do these projects. And again, this goes into how we make money. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to give you guys the ways that I make money, right? I'm sure people are going to find this to be interesting. All right, so one of the ways I make money is W-2 income, right? I'm a wagey, as Nick Fuentes says, right? So again, I collect a salary from my business. This is one of the ways I make money. Okay, we pay taxes on it, and like anyone else would pay taxes on their income. Okay. The other things we do is I have what's called profit distribution. Okay, so meaning if we make money at the end of the year, we get to take a disbursement for our profits. Okay, now I can also take money out of my business anytime I need to during the course of the year. Okay, now that money I have to pay taxes on it, right? So that's way number 2. All right, number 3, right? So I do small business consulting. So I don't talk about very much here, but basically I charge $150 an hour if you guys want to talk about business. You want me to give you some ideas for your company, especially if it's mostly people that are doing paint and furniture. I'll get on the phone with you and I'll talk to you. You can submit some questions to me via email so that I'm prepared. I'm happy to talk to you guys about how to do this kind of stuff. That's the way that I make money. Okay, and again, I'll get into like the dollar amounts and stuff like that, so you guys understand how these things start and where they end up, right? How they grow, how they fail, all these kind of things. Because believe it or not, guys, the way that I make money is not, I don't make a lot of money in every way, right? Some ways are making money, all the time. Some things are losing money all the time, but the consistency is what causes them, I hope, to make money over the course of the years, all right? So another thing, we do design consulting. So my wife will take a fee, and again, we pay people pay us to help them design rooms, right? To help them pick out colors, right? To help them pick out fabrics. Okay. Another way that I make money is I take a $500 fee, and I design furniture for people. Okay. So say here's a great example. So say you look on my website, theresplendentcrow.com, and you see, hey, I like this dresser that you have on there, but I need it to be bigger, or hey, I got a different kind of a space. I need drawers here. I need doors here. I say, okay, well, here, let me 3D model this thing for you. I'll 3D model it for you. And again, if you agree to have us build this piece for you, we'll take the design fee off of the purchase price, right? And I charge a flat $500, right? This gives people skin in the game to deal with me, right? Generally means that they're going to buy, right? So if someone pays me $500 to design them a piece of furniture, there is a 99% chance that they're going to pay $8,000 to $20,000 for me to make them a piece of furniture. Okay, so again, fantastic way to make money, and also gives you access to a lot more money, right? And if it doesn't work out, again, the couple of times that people haven't had me make furniture for them, again, I got $500 to design something, they get a model and they get a drawing. It's a win-win, right? Again, I help them solve a part of their problem. They're going to look at me in the future to help them again. Okay, again, everyone's happy. So other things we do, right? So we have social media income. Okay, again, we make money on Instagram, Facebook, make money on YouTube. Right, so all these things make money. Okay, and I'll tell you guys how this all works. You guys have questions, got comments and questions about how any of this stuff works, put in the comments and I will interact with you guys. Again, this conversation does not work unless we go back and forth, okay? So we got social media, we got YouTube money, right? So Other things we do. So we have Amazon money, right? So there's affiliate income that comes in from Amazon, okay? We have a website, not only the Resplendent Crow, but we also have the Resplendent Home, okay? Again, this is a great way to make money. It's essentially a blog that talks about everything that we do. From the furniture side, right? From the design side, this makes money. This draws in ad revenue, okay? This draws in sponsorship money, okay? Which we'll get into that, okay? Other ways you have money, UGC, okay? So basically, a company says, you know what? We want you to make content about our products, right? Make those content about our products. We then do that work and they pay us for it, okay? Now, I literally got a toilet upstairs, right? So someone's paying us $800 to make a video about their toilet. So again, I'm getting a new toilet. I'm gonna go install the toilet. We're gonna make a video about it. We're gonna talk about it. $800, easy money, okay? Builds up a relationship with these particular clients and these firms, and then they ask you to do more of it, okay? So this is the first time we've done this. So other ways it would make money, right? So believe it or not, I like to buy comic books. There's another way that I make money. I don't do it very often, right? But when I see a deal, right? When I see something like on eBay or on Facebook, I see something that, again, because comic books are an industry that I know very well, I love comic books, I will buy a very high-graded comic book, that might cost a bunch of money, so that I can then sell it later on, right? I'll be looking at what's happening in the movie industry. I'll be looking at what's happening on the internet. And again, a great example would be like, here's one where I lost a shit ton of money, right? And I'll tell you where I won a bunch, or where I made a bunch of money. Where I lost a bunch of money is I spent like $1,500 on a Tomb of Dracula 10, which is the first appearance of Blade, and it was graded at like 7.5, and I thought for sure that the Blade comic book movies were going to be coming out, right? We're going to get because Marvel was like a big thing during COVID. It was like comic books were going through the roof, and I was positive they were going to make a Blade movie. So I bought this thing for $1,500, expecting it to sell for, probably upwards of $3,000 when this movie came out. The movie never came out and lost my ass. I ended up selling the thing for like $750. But where I made a bunch of money is I bought a copy of The Crow, #1. Right, which is the first appearance of the popular from the 90s, the comic book. I bought it in a 9.4 grade, and someone was selling it. They listed it as a buy it now for like $800, and I was like, man, this just seems like a low amount of money. And I ended up buying that thing. I just bought it, turned around, and I sold it. I want to say I sold it like a week later for like $2,400. So again, like there's opportunities to make money in these little kind of things, and I know that's not related to business, just kind of a fun way to do things. But again, this is how I make money as a business owner. Okay, now, again, put your guys' comments in if you guys have you want to know anything about any of this stuff. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you guys my spiel on this thing, and we'll end the stream today. So hold on, let's see where we're at here. All right, one of the biggest boosts my business came when I unknowingly knocked on. Yep, you talked about that one. Bethany says, Bethany drove CDL. Hold on, let's see. So, let's see. This is Batty. Batty says, drove CDL with FFE, CFI, used the money to become cargo pilot. Holy shit, man. That sounds really cool. Cargo pilot. So you're talking about like I guess I'm going really big, but like flying like FedEx planes and UPS planes and shit like that. Is there like a hot shot? Is there like a hot shot type cargo pilot where you literally just grab some shit like I have a customer who is a heart surgeon, right? So literally what happens to him is that he just charters a jet when they have a heart. He's the guy that he goes and picks up the heart on a Gulfstream, takes the heart to the hospital, and goes and does the work. like the craziest thing you've ever heard of. I don't know if this is what you're talking about with this. Is there like hot shot cargo pilots? This would be pretty cool. I think that's fascinating. All right, Eric Powell, 7547. Ever since COVID, work has been nonstop. I'm a carpenter contractor. Yeah, same thing, dude. Good for you. Even though so one of the things you guys need to know about furniture, about carpentry contracting, all these kind of things, is that even though the housing market is dead, right, from a transactional standpoint, people buying and selling homes, what happens is that when no one buys homes, guess what happens? Everyone fixes their homes. So there's always work in the contracting space. I learned this in aerospace. When the economy would go down, people would go from buying new jets to refurbing their old jets. So the company that I work for had contracts for new planes with Hawker Beechcraft and Cessna at the time. But when those contracts would slow down, well then we'd take the refurbs in and we'd just refurb planes, and it was a great way to make money. So that's cool to hear, man. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys, I lost my spot. All right, Titan says, oh, wow, good for you. Yeah, fantastic. All right, SB, TV60N. So you're better off driving a non-CDL automatic piece of shit. Trucking is dead. You're better off driving a non-CDL automatic piece of, okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Let's see, SB, no some van expediter folks, never home. Yeah, I bet. Like I said, I got a guy that drives all over America for us, and mostly goes to the East Coast and down to Florida. And again, he's week on, week off, week on, week off. That's kind of how it works. Works for him. So, okay, Ken Bro, 1512. Happy Easter. He has risen. All right, is it Easter? I don't even know what I don't pay attention. All right, feeder routes to and from Memphis, pretty common. Okay, this is Nate Rez 1430. Okay, in case no one told you today, good job, and you are enough, and that you seem you're stuck, but now, okay, I guess maybe some Jesus-y stuff. So, okay, appreciate that. All right, Tanny. Okay, all right, here we go. So back in the discussion. Okay, so how do all these revenue streams? How does all this stuff work? Like again, I'm always telling you guys, like, change your mindset. Like again, your life. If you want to make it as a super uneducated person, if you're not going to do something that is wildly difficult that most people don't want to do, like what do you do with all this information that I've given you guys today? Okay, here's the thing. For me, everything in my life is about making money and creating content to work on this like, know, and trust thing. Okay, so when example I'm gonna use for you guys right now is we'll take this week, and I already told you guys, like, we're working on this foyer room. Okay, so everything about my home, right, my beautiful home, right, is about making money. Everything about my home is a tax write-off. Everything about my business is a tax write-off. Whenever I buy something, it's a tax write-off. Absolutely everything, right? The reason, when I go through my income streams, okay, the reason that I take a W-2 is for tax purposes, right? It's very important that you collect a salary as an S corp, okay? Now, the reason that I take profit distributions, right, is because my goal is obviously to make money, right? I want to deliver lots of product, have a little bit more profit at the end of the year so that I can, keep some of the money for myself, okay? Small business consults, right? When I want to go on vacation, do you think that I go on vacation and just pay that out of my pocket? No. No. I wait for a client, or I have a client, wherever I want to go in America. I've got all my clients, because I sell to wealthy people, they all live in the best places. So what do you think I do when I go on vacation? I go visit a client. I go make a sales call. I go fix a piece of furniture. And then I just happen to go to Cabo, or I just happen to go to Martha's Vineyard, or I just happen to want to go hang out in Florida, go down to Key West. This is where all my clients are, okay? So my life is a write-off, okay? When I do, when we do all the social media, right? I've told you guys about making stuff for social media, okay? Everything I do is focused around making money for social media, which then makes money for my business, right? Which then allows me to write my life off. So all my social media content I put off around my house, shows all my furniture, is for clients that are paying us to make content for them, right? Is to write off whatever room it is in my home, whatever it is that I'm buying. It's all written off in support of social media and the Resplendent Crow and the Resplendent Home. Everything. Okay, so nothing that I do in my life, I don't do things in my life unless it's a tax write-off. Like, I don't just buy shit for the sake of buying it. I buy it with the intent of it being for my home or my business. It has to be written off. When I buy cameras, guess what? When I want to buy a camera, it's for my business. It's for the social media that I do, right? When I want to go, like I told you guys, a vacation thing. When I go on vacation, same thing. When I buy cars, it's always in support of the business. When I buy homes, it's in support of the business, right? So believe it or not, guys, you can have a main home, right? You can literally buy another home, especially if you have a social media / furniture company, right? You can buy another home. That home becomes an office. So if you want to drop $300,000-$400,000 on a home, well, guess what? As long as you're constantly working on that home in support of your business and your social media, in support of drawing in money for clients to then pay you to push their products, the entire home and everything about it becomes a business expense. It's not a home, it's a business expense, okay? So this is what I do in my life, right? This is how we make money. Everything about our life is in support of our business and social media to work on like, know, and trust. Everything. This is so you don't really have to pay tax. We don't pay a lot of taxes because, again, everything's written off. Everything that I buy, I pay less for by way of taxes because it's in support of my business, support of social media, support of like, know, and trust, okay? So the social media income, same thing. When I'm here talking to you guys right now, right, this is producing income. This is working on like, know, and trust. And you guys are gonna say, oh my God, you've got 13 people in here right now. Oh, you don't know, this isn't doing anything, okay? Guys, you don't know what happens on the back end. Okay, you don't know that 2.5% of all people on YouTube actually become monetized, actually start making money on YouTube, which means that the pool of people that want to push products, the pool of people that want to do sponsorships, the pool of people that have people that have products that are looking for people to help them sell those products is 2.5% of all the people on YouTube. Okay, this is one of the ways you guys make money, right? This is what I'm always telling you guys. The consistency is the most important thing in business, right? This is. So when we have this channel, what you guys help me with here, we are the 2.5% of people on YouTube that make money on YouTube, okay? It's a very small group of people that all the people that have products are looking to help sell them their shit, right? And you're saying, well, Eric, you don't sell that stuff. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell some, but trust me, it helps me on my furniture. It helps me with consults. Like, how many consults do you think I get from YouTube? People pay me $150 an hour to teach them things, right? To tell them about business, right? How many $500 inquiry design fees do you think we get off social media, off Instagram, off YouTube, off Facebook? Like, again, they come in all the time. Like, this is how we make money, okay? So, other things. I wrote down UGC content, right? This is the content that, again, people send us shit. We make content about it, and then we get paid a fee, right? This is one of the ways we make money. This is the like, know, and trust. This is the 2.5% of people on YouTube that make money. This is the 2.5% of people on Instagram that make money, right? There's a lot of ways to make money, but you have to do it for a long time. You have to get to the place where, again, not many people are able to get to, and you have access to more of the people that want to pay you money, right? So, hold on, let me see if I check my notes here. We talked W2 salary, we talked profit distribution, we talked small business consult, we talked design consults, we talked social media, we talked YouTube, we talked Amazon, we talked UGC. 9 different ways to make money. Okay, and again, every single thing that I do supports all of these streams of income. Now you might say, well, Eric, you're a middle-class guy, you don't make a shit ton of money. No, I don't. I make a reasonable amount of money. I do okay. Some months I do really well. Other months I feel like I'm gonna, go cry in my tears. This is how it works. But guess what? Let's go through every one of these income streams and let's talk about where they started from and where they are today. Okay, this I think is good information for you guys, okay? All right, so read a few more comments, then we'll get back into our stream. All right, hold on. I don't know if this is real life anymore. Okay, this is BS Gaming Blitz. Okay, what are you talking about, BS Gaming Blitz? Let us know. Tiger says, my son owns a wood finishing and repair business where he mostly works at high-end properties around the country. He's at Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Star Island, Aspen Mansions, and Naples, Florida. Yep, good for him, man. I think that's freaking awesome, Titan. Again, I send tons of freaking stuff to Naples. We're out there at Jupiter Island, West Palm Beach. All the wealthiest people in the world in America are moving to West Palm Beach. All the people that used to be on the East Coast, up in the Northeast, in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, a lot of them moving down to Florida, right? So if you put yourself in the right place to make money, you can make money, right? That's why I always tell you guys, you got to be willing to move. It's very important. You can't just, oh, my family's been here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well then, you're limiting yourself, and so Titan sounds like your son's doing great, man. Fantastic. All right, Annie Dodal, born an artist, Jill of all trades. I was a stay-at-home mom most of my life, so I've always been better at saving money than making money. Now the kids are gone, I'm divorced, and back to art. Okay, well, that's good. Lots of ways to make money. There's so many ways to make money. Again, if I had to do it all over again, guys, like I said, the first thing I would have done is literally, just because I'm assuming an artist is good at art for the most part, the first thing I would do would be to get a website, like right away. Like, go on Shopify and put your products on there, because Shopify allows you guys to take payment from anywhere in the world, and it helps you on the shipping side, especially if you're in the art industry. Shopify gives you massive discounts on FedEx and UPS and United States Postal Service. So examples are, like, if I wanted to ship say I wanted to ship a tube of art, right? And let's say that tube is 4 feet long and 6 inches in diameter. Normally, that thing would probably cost me $30 to $40 to ship via FedEx or UPS. Again, if you're using Shopify to sell that thing, it'll probably cost you $10. Like, it's kind of offensive, if I'm being completely honest. It's offensive what UPS charges the average person for things. So again, as a business owner, when I need to ship anything, whether it's personal or or for my business, I run everything through Shopify. I will create products to ship things on Shopify so I can get that fat discount. You know, it's insane. You know, so good on you. Good on. Hope you got some cool stuff to sell. Hook up with some people that sell things. Like, again, my sister's an artist as well, and I've told her many times, like, Heidi, give me your fucking art. I will put it on my website. I will literally create a column just for your art. Like, all of my customers are qualified to buy your art. And you know what? She never did. No interest. Again, my website gets, I forget, like tens of thousands of visits a month. And again, she's got no interest, you know. So, and again, this is what afflicts most people. And it's fine, you know, no big thing. So my sister's doing just fine, you know. But again, she could be selling art. So, okay. Eric Powell says, I do everything if they are paid. I've renovated. I'll renovate your house and hang your curtains, shovel your snow, catch your mice. I cater to my clients, and I've done it all. They have rental units for retirement. That's fantastic, man. Again, this is what I talk about. Volunteer for everything. I say it a million times. Again, people think that I'm a loser because, you know, you mean you're working for free. No, it doesn't mean you're working for free. It just means you become that guy that volunteers for everything instead of, well, let's see who will do this. They'll be like, ah, fuck it, let's ask Eric. Eric will do it. You know, Eric Powell. You know, say Eric. This is what. There are no opportunities at home, right? There are no opportunities being the guy that just does the bare minimum. Like I said, volunteering for things, it just leads so many places. Working the overtime leads to the volunteering, right? Leads to the opportunities. And I'm a broken record on this stuff. In business is a little bit different though, Eric Powell. Like I said, for us, we've had to learn how to say no to a lot of stuff. Our growth in many ways has come from saying no, because what I've noticed is that as we've grown as a company, as we get more employees, as everything in life seems to get more expensive from a business standpoint, you can't make as much money doing the little things. It's very difficult to get people to pay what it actually costs. And as you start to grow and you start to kind of specialize, when that specific that work that doesn't pay as well, right? Even if you find a person that is willing to pay you what you need to get in order to do that work, you find out that you're not as good at it as you remember being, and then you end up losing that way. You know, so good to hear that you're able to make that work, though. All right, Pal says, sounds like you have it going on with a great work ethic. Good on you. And good, yep. Again, Eric Powell, good things will come to you, man. Good things will come to you. Everything in my life has come from working hard, learning new things, volunteering constantly, and always being consistent. Like I said, and finishing what you start, man. All right, J-Pol, Modern Woodworker. Okay, a show on tax write-offs and how to walk that thin line between legit write-off and the IRS coming down on you would be interesting. Okay, well, I could talk about that. Again, if you guys don't understand, it's like the tax code is set up for business owners. It's set up for people that own property. The tax code is incentivized for people to start businesses. I sound like a dick when I say this, you know, but the tax code isn't set up for normal people, because the rule of averages states that most normal people are going to be normal. Most people are going to be normal. Running a business is the hardest thing you can do. And again, I sound like a dick when I say that, but there is nothing in life that is more difficult than running a business, because it never gets turned off. The problems, the amount of learning you have to do, the amount of bullshit you have to put up with is never ending. And people always, you know, oh, business owners are full of shit. They think they're better than other people. Like, no, it's not that we think that we're better than other people. It's just, it is honestly the hardest thing you can do. You know, and again, your fucking employees hate you. Everyone thinks that you're a dick. You know, you got customers telling you to fuck off, and you got to call them the next day. You know, you're the guy that always has to fix the problems. The employees always want more money. The fucking people always want your products for less. And it's just never. The tax man's always coming after you. The Department of Labor's coming after you. I mean, it's just fucking people are trying to sue you. It is just what are they? Jerry Maguire says it's a pride swallowing siege. You know, and it's just what it is. So the tax code actually incentivizes this, you know, and yeah, so I mean, maybe that'd be a good thing to do a show on. You know, I'm sure Titan could help us out. He's owned a business before. And J-Pol sounds like, or excuse me, Eric Powell, sounds like you're doing a lot of handyman related stuff. You're doing a lot of different jobs, you know. So yeah, maybe we should do a tax show. I could probably do that. So when do you guys want to do a tax show? We could talk that fine line. Okay, let's see. Don't put off, Sarah says, don't put off future. Learn to save and invest now, and you'll reap the benefits as you age out of working. Find a mentor that has already become successful and do what they teach. Man, that's Titan. You need to do one of these casts, man. You got some great information there. I said, you know, you guys don't know how many employees we've had. You know, I told the story about we used to have a painter, and he was, I'm not gonna say his name, but anyway, he was a guy who, you know, didn't have a great upbringing. You know, one of these generationally impoverished people that I'm always talking about, and he was painting for us, and he was always telling me, you know, like he always had these ideas of designing T-shirts. He was kind of an artsy kind of a guy. Maybe that's why he was a painter, but he just couldn't piece the thing together, right? This whole making money thing, this whole small business thing, and I remember telling him, I was like, look, dude, you know, you've got a sales genius around you all the time, because my wife and him would work together, you know, fairly regularly. She was around the business a lot more at the time, and I telling him all the time, like, look, dude, you need to fucking talk to my wife, man. You want to learn how to sell things? You want to learn how business really works? Like, you've got a person here who has all the answers. Like, you just got to ask the questions, man. Like, she's not going to give it to you. Like, go fucking ask her. You know, like, you want to start a fucking T-shirt company? Well, go ask her how she would start a T-shirt company, right? Ask her how, you know, buying in bulk works. Ask her how, you know, shipping works. Ask her how, you know, paying VAs over in the Philippines works. Like, ask her how hiring people works. Ask her how this shit works, man. She will teach you. She will tell you things. Like, take these pearls of wisdom and work with them. Do something with them. Guy wasn't interested. He would always ask me, and he would always have, you know, little questions here and there, but he just didn't have the enough interest to do the thing. You know, and I've seen this my entire life. You know, people will ask questions, and people will say they want this, and they'll say they want that, and they'll talk about how they don't have this, and the other person has that, and they, you know, at the end of the day, man, you just got to do it. You know, you just got to take advantage of the advantages that you have, the situations that you're in, and use that shit to your advantage, man. Like, it's, again, the only reason I was the guy that got all the opportunity in aerospace is because I let an old man hit me on the head with his fucking hat for about 5 years. When they needed someone to go get FBI top secret security clearance so that you could go on, you know, Air Force One, Air Force Two, go on the E-4B planes, you know, go work on the Saudi Princess planes. The only reason I was able to do it is because I didn't do drugs. I wasn't out fucking burning the midnight oil. You know, I was the guy that was fucking always showing up early Monday morning, not cutting out early on Friday. That opportunity still exists, guys. This isn't a dead thing. This isn't something that's pie in the sky bullshit. Like, it is literally the fundamentals to making it in life. You know, what Titan tells you here about, you know, investing, finding a mentor, you know, working on things when you're younger so you don't have to work as hard later on. He's 100% right. You know, I didn't follow that path, if I'm being completely honest with you. But again, I think that his information, his messaging is spot on, you know. So, Eric Powell, Titan was a plumber this past winter, boiler work. That's amazing, man. Eric Powell, holy shit, man. You need to start a YouTube channel, dude. I don't know, Eric Powell, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you showing people how you do this work? When you go into someone's home and you're working on fixing their pipes, you're doing work on frozen pipes, boilers, are you doing content about this kind of stuff? Because you should. And again, I don't think any of the people that you're doing the work for would mind one bit. You know, you could always ask, but this would be a great way for you to promote your business. It is a great way to work on the things that I'm telling you, like, know, and trust. You know, I don't know what your business is, dude, but again, if you got a business, you got a website, man, put it in the chat. You know, this is one of the things we work on. This thing I talk about with this like, know, and trust thing. Again, people got to know who you are. And then you got to have a history. People got to know that you've been making content about doing this shit forever. And guess what? Pretty easy to sell something to someone if you've been doing it on the internet for 10 years. If you've got 1,000 videos on YouTube, pretty easy to make a sale. So. All right, Titan was part. Titan says, pal, I have a cousin in Borden, Massachusetts who owns a plumbing business, and he's killing it right now. Plumbing can be a very lucrative business. Yep. All right, BS Gaming Blitz. I think Iran's oil is a good investment. Well, I don't know about that. That's a great comment, though, BS Gaming Blitz. I like that you think about it like that. Trump says it's going to be a great investment for us. Again, you know, it's funny, like, we seem to go take over these countries, and again, I'm going to get back to my discussion here. It seems like we take over all these countries, right, and we're getting control over LNG, we're getting control over oil. It doesn't seem like the American people see a lot of benefit there. Because when a president comes in, you guys notice the gas prices just go up or gas prices just go down kind of willing. You would think that money, like if you guys live in Alaska, you know that they get an oil dividend. You know, if you are a resident in the state of Alaska, that you actually get paid money every year from their oil industry. Like, where's America's fucking profit sharing on? Again, if we're going to go to, you want to get the American people behind the oil industry, like, again, go snatch the leader out of Venezuela. Tell the American people, you know, we're going to give you guys an oil dividend. Like, that's what I would do for my employees if I wanted to get them on board with something. I don't know why. It seems like the oil companies are the only ones that ever seem to benefit and profit from this, and they get the fucking tax breaks, and they get the access to all the best tax advantages, and they get to make the rules and laws that govern their own industry. Like, it's like, Anyway, good for them. Okay, see, Eric Powell says, Tyrone, you have my sympathy. I couldn't sit down. Yeah, man, it's very difficult. Careful who you take your advice from, folks. I know, man. Salina Girls timed out. Or Salina Girls and Eric Powell, Titan. I'm in upstate New York. It was cold this past winter. Oh, shit. Titan Girls, give us a comment in here. All right, Annie Donald, thanks so much for the advice and encouragement. I really enjoy listening to your podcast. Yeah, and again, this is for, again, dumb guy. Like I said, this is the content, guys. I'm not on here trying to tell you guys that I know it all, that I'm an expert. I'm not. You guys want to know about furniture? You want to know about making content on YouTube? I'm a fucking expert at it. I'm really good at it, and it's because I've just done it forever. It's not because I've got the gift. I don't have the gift of gab. I don't just I don't see furniture making like I'm a savant. I just did it for a long time. I'm really good at it, so. All right, see, says juggle a chaffin. I'm in Kansas and caught a possession charge last October. I haven't been convicted, but I've put in over 90 applications in the past 3 months and not a single positive response. I have 3 little angels. Well, again, you can, like, again, Titan Brew has hired you guys before. I've hired you guys before. There are businesses that hire people that that have fallen on hard times, whether that's alcohol, whether that's DUIs, whether that's being in jail, felony convictions, all that kind of stuff. Again, there's a lot of opportunities out there, but you got to get in the door. You got to be able to prove it is you can do. Like, I'll hire a fucking murderer if he can build furniture. I don't give a fuck. Like, again, the guy provides value to my company, does a great job, does it for a good price. I don't care what you've done. I believe that people are deserve second, third opportunities. But again, is this a first-time offense or is this a 10th offense, right? Again, I don't believe in helping people that can't help themselves, So there's an opportunity out there, man. Like I said, just keep at it. I don't know what else to tell you, man. And again, I see, these people that talk about putting in 90 applications, I've never put more than like 2 or 3 applications into my entire life for anything. So I don't know how this works. Is this like the new online job application model? Like, show up, go to a fucking business. Go say, hey, I need a job. And again, you're saying you got 3 little angels, man. You got little kids you got to employ, or you got to help. Again, what can you do? Can you make enough money to afford those 3 kids, right? Do you have enough experience? Can you provide enough value for business to take to earn the income that it takes to pay for 3 kids? That's part of the equation, dude. So good luck to you, man. And again, if I was in Kansas, I'd say come and apply where I'm working. Let us know what you do. What is it you do? All right, let's see, I need to go figure something out. I've been going at it at all angels. Any advice for work or ways to get real legit money? All right, well, Titan, let's help this dude out, man. What is it you do? What's your background? What is your experience? How old are you? All right, DoorDash can't be the only job I can do anymore. I've dedicated hard-ass worker used to run a moving company with an old neighbor. And was super successful while it lasted. That's the crazy part. Okay, well, so your experiences in moving, logistics, again, I would hire you tomorrow if you told me that you were going to move furniture from St. Louis out to New York. You're right, but you gotta dress appropriately. You can't hit on the people that are my customers, right? You gotta be able to drive at midnight. You gotta be willing to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You gotta be able to get into New York at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? You got to be able to go to these places when there's no traffic. You got to be able to drive all night. You got to be able to not be one of these, divas that wants to stay at a hotel all the time and fucking eat 3 meals a day and sit in restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Moving is actually very difficult. It's a very hard way to make money, but guess what? It pays really fucking well. So I'm very curious your background, dude. So again, what you're saying you do, I know all about it. I've done it for a long time, So again, are you serious about it? Or are you one of these divas, because everyone says they want to do something, but are they really good at it? So you tell me your real experience, man. I'm kind of curious. All right, so you could try looking into businesses that hire felons, although though they're not one, there are literally lists of these businesses online. That's cool. That's fantastic advice, Titan. So yeah, look online. Again, like I said, if you were here in St. Louis, I'd be more than happy to talk to you, But if you're in Kansas, again, you're find businesses that are in your industry. And again, I tell you guys all the time, again, if you got a truck and you want to be in the moving business, again, there's businesses like mine that would love to hire you. They're all over the place. Again, moving furniture is one of the hardest things you can do. This is one of those hard jobs. And you can find people that are really good at it. It's very difficult. Most people that move furniture fucking suck. They're not really serious about it. They don't take it seriously. They don't take care of things. I've seen it. Anyway, I can talk forever about that one, but I'm very curious what it is that you do. All right, time bridge. Just be honest. Let me know what you're facing. Honestly, can open doors. All right, cool. 33, I've never been in this situation. It's becoming so overwhelming. People don't understand how hard I've been trying. Other than my wife, my own family is so rude about the fact I haven't gotten one. Okay, Chuggle, what city are you in Kansas? I got a lot of customers in Kansas. I know a lot of furniture companies in Kansas. Not furniture companies, but design outfits, right? People that actually need shit moved all over the place. Let me know what city you're in, man. If you're anywhere around Wichita, Kansas, let me know. Okay, shallow dockets. Don't be afraid of change. I don't know how many fellow employees I've met that put themselves into a box because they don't welcome learning a new skill at work. Make yourself not replaceable. Yeah, so it's shallow pockets. That's a great tip. But again, it's easy to say. You know, like the stuff that I tell you guys to do. Most people say they want to do it, they don't. You know, because it's hard, it sucks, you know, but you got to change your mindset. Again, if you can do something that you like, you know, it's not that you'll never work a day of your life, but work is not, it's nice, it's rewarding, it feels good. I think work's awesome, you know, but a lot of people, they don't really want to do a lot of work. All right, an opportunity will show itself. Just keep plugging and ignore the naysayers. Yeah, and again, make sure I'm saying your name right. Juggler Shuffle. Man, I cannot say what your name is, dude. But again, it said if you're in or around Wichita, Kansas, man, you're around Kansas City area, like I said, send me a message. You can also go to modernwoodrunner.com. You can send me an email. Go to theresplendentcrow.com. You can send me an email. Hit me up, and maybe we can help you out. Okay, business are looking to hire assets. Be that asset as you'll be surprised how fast you earn money and are given more responsibilities. Yes, that's fantastic. Here's a great example, guys. I hired a guy who barely spoke English. He's a refugee from Syria. Came to America by way of Germany. I paid him $10 an hour. Like I said, hardly spoke any fucking English. Now I pay him $34 an hour. He's worked for me for 4 years. Okay, this is what it means when you can actually provide value to a company. That's a real world example, right? And some of you might say, oh, that doesn't seem like a lot of money. No, again, the guy he didn't speak any English. He provided no value. He walked in off the street, wanted a job. He took $10 an hour. And again, within 4 years now, he's making $34 an hour. Okay, if that's not a real world example of what you can do to make money and how quickly you can make money. If growing your salary $24 an hour in 4 years isn't good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you guys. All right, let's see, shallow pockets. Absolutely have been good attitude. Absolutely, and have a good attitude about it. And don't act so arrogant about what you do because you can because that can make you be such an asset. Yeah, and again, shallow pockets, you have a pretty good attitude. And again, shallow pockets, let us know what it is you do. Maybe you told us, I just didn't see the stream, but seems like you got some great valuable information and great comments, so thank you. I worked with a murderer once. It was self-defense, he said. First time ever in trouble, Indeed and stuff as in-person applications. Yeah, man, that Indeed thing's tough, man. Like I said, I've tried to hire people off Indeed, and you know, the best way I've found to hire people for like sanding work and assembling furniture, which is my industry, has actually been Yahoo. These groups of people, you could find a lot better employees through things like Facebook Marketplace, the Facebook Jobs. It seems like Indeed's kind of bullshit. I've hired some people off Indeed, and usually I get divas. I get people that want a shit ton of money. They don't really want to do much. They want the money first, and then they want to prove to you what they could do. Whereas the people on Facebook, right, the people that just walk in the door, they'll take almost nothing to show you what it is they can do, and then they end up making the most money. That's kind of how I've seen it, you know, but I don't know. All right, Eric Powell, 7547. I don't know young guys that are smashing it mowing lawns. I love it. Thank you for telling us that, Eric Powell. I think it's great. I live on a cliff, right? Guy mows our yard. I pay him $150 a week to mow my yard. And again, he's on one of those ride behind standing mowers, again with 2 wheels. I don't know what you call those things, but yeah, he gets paid. No, I think he might be $1.75. All right, so I know 3 people right now who are looking for employment, and it isn't like it when they. I know 3 people right now looking for employment, and it isn't like it was when we applied. Most places, they walk in, tell them fill out a paperwork online, and go, yeah, man, that sucks. I believe what you're saying, dude. I don't want to believe it. Like, you know, like I've had many people walk into my business wanting a job, and trust me, I'm not that I've hired all of them, but I give them all the time of day. I show them what it is we do. I ask what it is that they can do, and I ask where they can fit into our company, and I try and be try and be empathetic to their situation, right? Because again, like I try and put myself in their shoes. Like if I walked into a company asking for a job, you know, with a fucking resume in my hand, like how scared would you be? Like how you know, how uncomfortable is that, you know, walking into a business asking for a job, man? It's tough, you know. So again, some of the walks in, man, you got my complete and undivided attention. Whether you're a fucking artist or you're a furniture maker or you're a felon, like you got my attention because it really means something. I think a lot of that is lost on businesses today, on business owners. And I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. Maybe it's the industry that I'm in, you know. Maybe it's because again I don't have a college degree. I don't know. But again, I feel like what you're saying is true, man. And fucking I don't like hearing it, but I think you're probably right. Finding work today, just walking in asking for a job isn't what it used to be. So that sucks. All right, let's see. Juggalo Shopping. I run a movie company. I worked in a body shop for 5 years. I've been doing a lot of PC work. I'm able to drive when even I'm needed as soon as I need it. I am dedicated to my job when I work. And Juggalo, that's I'm gonna Juggalo. I'm just gonna call you Juggalo. I'm an Insane Clown Posse fan, so then I see your name. I think Juggalos. Yeah, if you got kids, man, that's the thing that's going to make it really tough. Like if you're stuck in an area, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to where the work is, where the opportunity is. You know, that can be very difficult, you know. So again, I'm kind of curious where you're at. Salina Girl 69, we got this. Here's another business owner, Juggalo. Salina owns a sign company. You know, she's I think a 4th or 5th generation business owner, you know, in Kansas, and clearly Salina Girl's probably in Salina, I would imagine. Okay, Dad, when he was alive, got a Fed cash incentive for hiring ex-cons from the United States Medical Center for Federal Prisoners, MCFP Springfield in Springfield, Missouri. Love it. Thank you, Salina Girl. Thank you. I really appreciate it. All you guys, Titan, Salina, again, you people, Eric Powell, you guys, this is great. We got a great group of people there. And I really appreciate you guys being here, adding your feedback and adding to the discussion, telling people how to help them. So I think this is what makes this live cast great. You know, sometimes we talk about Epstein, sometimes we talk about politics, sometimes we're doomers, you know, but in situations like this where we actually get to try and help people, I think it's fantastic. Juggalo says, my movie company focus on undesirable, which means pool tables, china cabinets, pianos, large furniture stuff that most movie companies just don't want to mess with. And again, Juggalo, this is where the money is. This is what I do. Like, again, I sell tons of china cabinets, so we ship this shit all over the country. Because we do this, we have a business. So it sounds like you're doing all the right things, man. Like I said, your background's very interesting. Like what you're willing to do, your knowledge seems very interesting. I find it. I know that a lot of movie companies don't want to deal with any of that shit. They want the easy money. The insurance that you have to have for having a movie company is staggering, guys. Especially when you're dealing with high net worth individuals. I mean, a lot of places where we ship furniture, you can't even get in there without having a $5 million insurance plan. You can't even get in there without having insurance specific for that delivery. It's a very interesting market, or a very interesting industry, moving furniture and things like china cabinets and the thing that pianos was the big one. So you might have, I don't know if you listed pianos, but pianos are the other thing people don't want to. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you got pianos in there. Okay, Hutchinson, about a half hour. Oh, I know exactly where you are. Okay, well, Juggalo Shopping, it takes me 40 minutes to get to Wichita. Well, so Hutchinson, a company I used to work for called Global Engineering Technology, used to have a branch in Hutchinson, Kansas. I don't know if it's still there. Look up Global Engineering Technology, see if they're still got a business. They are a furniture company for the aerospace industry, and they move things around all the time. And I don't know if that's your skill set, if you have any background in furniture making, cabinet making, logistics. But again, they're moving shit all the time. Maybe they need some work. So if you need, if that company is still in business, look them up, send me an email. Maybe I can make a telephone call for you. All right, it takes me 40 minutes to get. But yeah, if you're willing to go to Wichita, again, I know a lot of design outfits. I know a lot of people that move furniture all over the place in Wichita, Kansas. You know, maybe I can help you out. All right, Ignore the Juggalo. It's from when I was a kid and said Chaffin incorrectly most don't. Okay, well, that's cool, man. Whatever. Like, I got an email address. It's thirdeyeeric@yahoo.com because I'm a big Third Eye Blind fan, and I've had my Yahoo account for 20 years at this point. It was one of the first email accounts in Yahoo. We all do dumb shit. It's fine. All right, themodernwoodworker.com. Yeah, there you go. Again, you can also go to theresplendentcrow.com. You can hit me up there. All right, left with good morning. Sun's in here. All right, commentary connoisseur. Paid him shit until you were good, then started paying him after you were winning. Okay, again, commentary, like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, it's a, you don't understand how it works, man. Dirty money. Neither of the Wright brothers finished high school. Well, again, it's not about finishing high school. Again, most of your successful people in life are C students, right? These are people that never finish college, and then when you get successful, then you hire all the college graduates. Then you hire all the smart people. All right, Shallow Pockets. I worked in cabinet shop, been there nearly 20 years. I love it, Shallow Pockets. Great. Good to hear. Did you say you're from in Massachusetts? I forget where you said you were from. Cabinet making is great money. It's not great money. It's decent money. It's middle class money, and there's always work, you know, which is cool. All right, Hyundai Steel Mill looking for help. Dirty Money says Hyundai Steel Mill looking for help. I thought steel was making a comeback. Trump said that steel's doing great. Again, Alton Steel here in Alton, Illinois just closed down. But I'm curious what you're saying there. Momo 79 is back in here. Momo 97 is back in here. Get out in the sun. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's important that you touch grass, get in the sun. Okay, well, I think I touch grass every day. Okay, Titan says, I can't stress finding befriending a successful mentor. They've done the right things to become successful, and many folks would be surprised how eager wealth people are to share their success story. Yep, I agree, man. That's one of the reasons I do this cast, guys. Like I said, it's just important that we let people know that you can make money. You don't have to be the most intelligent person. I think what Titan says there is fantastic advice. Again, and it does. I mean, it could be, say you got a W-2 job, right? You're a wagey. You're working for someone else. Again, endear yourself to the employer, right? The people that make decisions, right? The guys that are, at the upper echelon of your company. Again, volunteer for things. Get some insight in what did these guys do? And if they tell you, hey, I went to fucking college, I got a degree in business, and I got an MBA, and now here I am, listen to them. If that's the path that they took, and that's your mentor, that's the guy that did the thing that, or is doing the thing that you want to do, hear what they have to say. I think that's fantastic advice. If you want to be in the furniture space, you want to know how a guy like me did it. Again, no education. You're not interested in going to college. You don't want to work. You don't want to go to trade school and do this. Listen to what I'm telling you guys. This is how I did it. I'm not fucking rich, but I think I'm middle class. I think I'm doing all right. I'm pretty happy with my lot in life. So again, cozy up to the people that are doing the thing that you want to do, or are where it is you want to be, okay? But the truth is that in order to do that, for people that have businesses that can figure this thing out, guess what? They don't want to be around losers. They don't want to be around people that fucking whine, okay? They want you to be, maybe not excited, but they want you to be at least enthusiastic, right? You need to fake it. You act like you're interested. Otherwise, these people aren't going to cozy up. They don't want to hear your problems, right? See, is Annie Total. I'm in the middle of moving my mom and just had the worst experience with the moving code. Yeah, I know. It's like I said, we had a couch delivered. I didn't forget this. I had a couch delivered during COVID. We couldn't. There were no couches available. It was like 6 months to get couches. It was terrible. And we got this company Joybird to deliver a couch for us, and they had one. And again, we had these two guys. They showed up, and again, just like could give a fuck about anything. Just they put the couch in. This is all white glove delivery, by the way. They put the couch together half-assed. They didn't tighten any of the screws. None of the brackets were lining up. And again, they just slapped things together, and they left. They didn't take their shit with them. It was just not a good experience. And again, that's why we offer the best moving service that we possibly can with our product. The service is more important than the furniture in many cases, So it's very important that you do a fantastic job. Very, very important that you deliver a high quality experience, especially if you deliver a high value product, So anyway, anecdotal. Sorry to hear that. See, Juggalo says, I'd be happy to travel to Wichita, and I can't thank you enough for even considering helping me. Yeah, well, why not, man? Like I said, I got a couple of companies. There's a place called Diva Design that we do a lot of work with. They're in Wichita, Kansas. I don't know if they'd be interested. And again, I used to work for Global Engineering Technology. They just got bought by a company called Yangling, which is one of the larger aerospace support companies there in Wichita, Kansas. So I don't know if any of the people that I know there would even entertain that. I don't know if they got a facility in Hutchinson anymore. I have no idea. But again, a lot of times it's about who you know, guys. Randy Leahy, 8441. Love the Christmas story. Thank you, Eric Powell. Love watching your woodworker woodworking techniques and furniture. Yeah, sometimes that stuff's hard to do, man. I made a lot of videos and I tried to show people what it is that we do here, and it just doesn't seem like it catches on. What a lot of people want is they want the entertainment factor, and I don't fucking do entertainment, guys. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not that funny, I'm not that interesting, and I just make furniture. You know, and I try and show people how to do this kind of stuff, how to make really high quality furniture that actually sells, not this fucking bullshit that you guys see on YouTube from these entertaining, funny guys. Like, I just don't do that. I don't have it in me. All right, anecdotal, we're renting a U-Haul to finish the job they did. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's rough. All right, Natarez, let's see if you got something. Okay, Natarez, again, you're spamming. Okay, sorry to hear that. Anecdotal, my parents got taken by a sleazy movie company. Made them pay extra. They wouldn't unload the furniture. Yeah, it sucks. All right, advise the youth to get an HVAC electrical alignment. Yeah, I think that's fantastic, Eric. Great advice. Juggle, how would I go about contacting you? Okay, Juggle, we put all the information in there, man. You're gonna have to go to themodernwoodworker.com, or you can go to theresplendentcrow.com. Send me an email, send me a message. There's a million ways to get a hold of me. Now, trust me, I'm not hard to find. Okay. Type room, my wife and I helped a young homeless guy. H was licensed HVC, but he couldn't get hired because he couldn't wash himself. We allowed him to use our guest room and bathroom. Wow, that's tight. That's pretty interesting, man. I don't know if I would be as brave as you are. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I'll take genuine people over funny, entertaining propagandists every day. Yeah, I know, man. Okay, cool. I will. Thank you. Theresplendentcrow.com. There you go. Thanks, son. Titan Brew, 2 weeks and landed a good job, and even provided him with a work truck for transportation. He found his own place soon after. That's fantastic, Titan. I'm glad. I got a lot of stories like yours, Titan, except mine to go the opposite direction, where we try and help people and it just ends up fucking us in the ass, and it makes you a little cynical at times, if I'm being completely honest. And so, yeah, there's certain groups of people that I'm very reluctant to even work with anymore. It's too bad, you know. So, Titan, I like the fact that you got some good stories and it worked out for you. I don't have as many. I wish I had more. All right, last comment here, Eric Powell. 7547, it's very entertaining to me. Laugh at it, it's an art. I tell my clients that I'm an artist. I say they, again, as a paint company, guys, again, we say the same thing. Painting is an art, you know. It's just very difficult to reproduce the same finish every single time. You know, we can do it 95% of the time, you know, but again, sometimes the shit just doesn't work because it literally is an art, you know. So, so anyway, what other things can I tell you guys? I think we've covered a lot of stuff on here. I was going to go over how the income streams have grown or fallen off over the years. I don't know that we necessarily need to cover that. I don't think that people need to know that information right now. I appreciate everyone hanging out today. People that are still in the stream. What did we do? We did 2 hours this morning, which we do most mornings. I hope this information was useful, and it sounds like we helped out a person or two, which is fantastic. Hopefully, we can help out Juggalo and give him some opportunities to help the situation out. You know, so I got to go make some more content, guys. I'm going to go work on this foyer room, which again is going to be paid for by a lot of other people's shit, and I will make a lot of content for it, write it all off. Everything that I buy for my house comes through my business because they're all related, you know. So take this information I've given you today as you will. If you guys want to know more, subscribe. If you like to know about furniture making, subscribe. If you like to know about working with metal, subscribe. You want to know how to beat the tax man, subscribe. You want to know how to make things and start a business as an idiot, subscribe. So, okay, let's see. Thanks, Brother Titan. You got last comment. Thank you for another interesting and enjoyable live stream and chat. Have a great day. You guys do the same, and I'll yak to you guys tomorrow.